And you can just adjust that mic up to your face.
Okay.
All right, so even though it still says Adrian Gonzalez, I'm here with Taylor, who was playing her first round. It looked pretty comfortable. I mean,
Yeah.
it seemed like a pretty good matchup for you. You didn't have to deal with like the turn 2 crusher. You probably want to get the mic up a little closer to your face. So any thoughts on the match? You know, was it something you were expecting to see here?
No, I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, it's a blue-black reanimator shell. So
Yeah. I got lucky with the relic on turn 1 on game 2.
So actually, I'm curious. You mulled twice, game
Yeah.
2. Were the first 2 hands just bad, or were you just mulliganing into that relic?
So my first hand was a Darksteel Citadel, a Tree of Tales, and an Ancient Den with 2 Thoughtcasts, a Peerless Research, and Frogmite. I just wasn't comfortable with that hand.
Okay.
And then 6 was like no lands.
All right. So you did actually have legitimate reasons to mulligan. It wasn't just like trying to get in there, because that relic seemed to just do work during that round. It was a great match to watch, because we knew that, you know, there was a real chance of just like the turn 2 crusher and with haste, and is that just game over at that point?
Probably. I don't know how I
Okay.
get around that. I was like Frogmite.
Okay, yeah. If you do have the really explosive turn 2, I guess you could get there maybe,
Yeah.
but yeah, no. I think that was a great match to watch. I mean, is this are you new to Pauper, or?
Probably played for like a year and a half, 2 years.
All right.
Pretty comfortable with Affinity.
Okay.
That's the only deck I played.
So Affinity's a pet favorite, or just what you felt was right for this meta?
I think the deck's the best deck in Pauper, personally.
Hey, Adrian, another guy who
like
likes Affinity.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with it.
Hey,
I played Goblins, I played Mono Black, I played Mono Blue.
This is just
Affinity.
the one for you?
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. So that was round 1. So you're moving on to the winner's bracket, and we got, what, 5 rounds left? Are there what do you think your worst matchup is in terms of just the broader field? What don't you want to see?
I've never played against Drake, somehow. And so I'm not happy to play against that if that comes up.
There
sure
are a
it
couple of Drake decks here, so you might have to deal with that. I feel like at that point, do you just kind of try to get into the ATOG fling kind of deal? Or
I have no idea. I'll kill their Drake on their untap trigger, I guess, and hope it works out.
I mean, that's fair enough. They only have, what, 4 of them? So you got 4 Galv Blasts, they've got 4 Drakes. If you get lucky, I think you got that, but...
What I'm going to hope for.
All right, and are you from here in town, or?
Yeah, I live here.
Okay, because we were unsure. There were a couple of people who registered who have addresses from out of town, and yeah, I don't know. Any other thoughts about how your day's going, your match, all that good stuff?
Probably drank a little too much coffee beforehand. I'm a little jittery right now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
That came across on the future match.
Yeah, we've been we've been sucking down cold brew all morning, because I am not a morning person, unlike my co-host, and I'm pumped to be here. It's good. I feel like we got decent coverage of the first round, but I am not happy to be up this early in the morning. All right. Well, thanks for joining us for a quick little interview, and best of luck with the rest of your rounds. And if we get a top 8, hope to see you there.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Take it easy.
we're back with another episode of The Adrian Show, presented by me, Adrian. Mike just stepped outside for a quick second, but I figured I would go ahead and try and give you guys a brief rundown. Affinity confirmed best deck, because it's the deck we saw win on camera last round, so that's pretty sweet. Sorry, I'm trying to get the chat pulled up. This is probably a little lower. There we go. All right. Yeah, we have a pretty good turnout here. That was a great round one. I think Mike has actually already picked out our deck for round two while I was away. It's another great brew. It's another great local player, one of our friends, who has a tendency to show up with pretty sweet brews. So I think it's going to be a pretty exciting match. We're just waiting for the rest of the round to finish up. I think the round ends at 11 a.m. CST, and it's currently 10:50. So we have about 10 minutes before we'll start getting settled in for the next round. I'm sure someone will go to turns because there's still a couple people playing. Just spoke with one of my other friends. He's also playing an interesting deck. We got a lot of really, we have a pretty good mix here of tier decks as well as sweet meta decks. We got our business cards made, so if you're in the area, you can pick one up if you'd like a little color commentary keepsake. Mike designed, they got a logo on them, which you can see in the bottom, well, under me, really. And Mike designed that. That's on our business cards. Got our contact information on it, so it's pretty sweet. Guavildo, it's actually 30. We were going to cap it around 80, but I believe Logan said our final count was 35. So not quite 80. We can hope for that hopefully in the future. But we do have a pretty good Pauper scene here in Austin. I think we have it. You can play it on Fridays, Thursdays, Sundays, and Wednesdays maybe? So there's always a place to play it. Yeah, unfortunately, we didn't hit cap. It would have been sweet, though. It would have been really, really, really sweet. I think the reason that Pauper is so successful here is we already have a very large Eternal community. We have a very big Legacy community. We even have a small Vintage community here. So I think it's pretty easy to go ahead and switch over into Pauper once you're already playing those formats. Not that there's a lot of crossover in cards, but just that there's already the interest for Eternal formats here. I am a Magic player, a college kid, and a hipster. Well, I was a college kid at one point. No longer. But yeah, we do have a lot of people who go to UT who play here. I can still see a match out around the corner here of this large metal safe. The one where the audio is too much to contain. Job, I would take a look at Last Breath, which is a white and a 1 instant, which exiles a creature with power 2 or less. Yeah, and then they gain 4 life, but that's irrelevant if you're stopping trade combo. But yeah, 1 and a white, instant speed. But yeah, a lot of places to play Pauper here in Austin. Still got about 6 minutes to fill here. I don't want to bore you guys with the interstitial screen, so I figured I would talk a little. Did Mike talk to you about the Reanimator deck? Did Mike talk to you about the Reanimator deck? What was that card? Deja Vu is the name of the blue card that Ian cast that got him back the careful study. What is that? What does Deja Vu do? 2 and a blue, return a sorcery from your graveyard to your hand. That's pretty sweet. Portal? I mean, Portal is basically the best set, so if you're playing a card from that, then, you know, hotness confirmed. Ridiculous Donnie will be back with the next round in just a couple minutes here. I guess I could go ahead and edit the live text file. I'm going to go ahead and move us back to break for just a hot minute here, just so that we can get set up for our next round. And we're
Alrighty,
back.
we're back.
Hey, Tass, what's up?
Yeah, hey Tassanara. We recognize you from the Discord channel. We're getting ready for round 2 here. We
actually still have some of round 1. Looks like they're in turns, maybe.
Yeah, they're probably getting to turns right now.
So we have a little bit of time to kill.
Yeah. How's everyone's stream experience going?
I think we fixed a lot of the issues that we had.
Someone asked tips and tricks they would like to share. My tip and trick is first pick a Marchesa and then force Mardu. That was my strategy. I'm bad at drafting.
I was mono green, so I can't complain.
Oh
but
yeah,
it was
Sovereign's
fun.
Realm fully OP. Like we had someone with that in our pool, and it turns out having perfect mana is ridiculous. And she also had Kami of the Crescent Moon, the draw, the Howling Mine on a stick, and no one killed it. And we were like halfway through our decks by turn 5 or so.
Pretty dope.
Yeah, no, it turns out perfect mana really, really good.
Yeah.
Also, weirdly, she had a Merfolk Looter that wasn't good because you can't pitch lands anymore with it.
That's interesting.
But no, we've been having a good time here. We got a spicy brew coming up next. Assuming that he's not paired against someone from last round. Actually, pairings are going up.
Mike's.
Logie Bear.
Don't call him that.
What we got for the feature match? Who's the other half? All right.
Awesome. Thanks for the status, Job. No.
All right. But do we know where he's at? All right. All right. Come here. We'll get the other person over here as well. Adrian, you want to take over the Adrian show for a
Yeah,
hot second?
sure. I haven't relegated back to Adrian's show duty, and welcome to season 27 of the Adrian show. That's right, the network renewed us again. So Mike is just getting the two settled for the feature match. He's standing right over there, so he's never far. The producers, if you will, of the Adrian show. My co-host chair has returned for another riveting discussion on the the benefits of eating a diet rich in tapioca pudding. Not only is it tasty, it's also extremely good for you, as I'm sure there are probiotics in it. And it looks like we're just getting set up here. Mike just got the deck list from the other guy. I'm gonna take a little sneakeroo here. Ooh. This is gonna be fun. It looks like we're actually still trying to track down the other opponent. So we're just pulling him out here. I'm gonna go ahead and start editing our text fields. Mike has such a terrible keyboard. This computer is just so far away from me. My arms are so stubby. I'm not sure how to save these, really. Mommy. The Adrian show has gotten so much more difficult ever since we brought on the new producers. It just hasn't been the same ever since season 24. I'm sure you all know. Those of you who were at the beginning, thank you. Thank you for watching the Adrian show. We've had a very good run. Yeah, so Mike's getting the hobnob and glad hand over there. Adrian the T-Rex Gonzalez. I'm not going to say no to that nickname. Okay, looks like we're about to get started. Mike's going on his way back. I mean, T-Rex makes stubby arms sound cool. Hey, will you go ahead and save these actually? Do you just Control S? I haven't actually saved the Jake's yet. Is it just Control S?
Command S.
Command S. I mean, I haven't done Benjamin's yet. All right, looks like we're about to get started here. What?
All right, match record. All right, so this one's going to go to view a playing field. And we're going to transition. All right, so we're back here. We've got Mono Black Control, piloted by Benjamin Ricard. And we've got Esper Tortex, piloted by Jake Manella, and he's going to need to get his face out of there.
And again, just to recap, we're showing what we consider to be sweet brews the first couple rounds, and then we're going to move on to people who are doing well. So you will get to see the top tier lists, but we really just wanted to showcase some of the brewing that our Fair City has to offer. And Jake is actually one of our better brewers, I would say. He's always on something crazy, and the Esper Tortex list is actually pretty sweet.
Jake, could you move the tablet down a little bit towards the camera? Yep, there, you're good.
All right, we're just getting some technical things out of the way.
Yeah, we just had to get that life total back in cam. So this Esper Tortex brew is something else.
So who do you think's favorite here? I want to say the Tortex deck might be, because the Mono Black deck can't really kill off its creatures.
Let's look at the Mono Black list.
Is he running is there a Bajuka Bog? There are.
I see no bogs.
I see no Bajuka Bogs.
And I see only 2 spell bombs out of the side.
2 spell bombs on the side. So.
And
see an elf.
Looking at this Tortex list, we've got like Angelic Renewal, we've got Journeys, we've got Lone Missionaries, Squad Hawks, Deadweights, Fume Spitters, Stinkweed Imps, Crypt Rats, Seal of Doom. Like, this list is long. Yeah, there's a lot going on here.
Getting into the game, Benjamin plays a Baron Moore tap first turn 1, says go.
Yep.
Jake looks like plays a Dismal Backwater. So both players.
Benjamin did warn me that it has been a while since he's played this game, so might have a slight amount of slowness here, but nothing too bad. All right,
Falls up the swamp on his turn 2 and says go. No sign of blood.
no sign of blood. That's slightly slower start, but not everything is everything's going to be super fast.
Here we see and that's the card that Jake is really built around here. Will you explain that card, Mike?
Is this Tortex?
Yeah. No, it's Angelic Renewal.
Oh, Angelic Renewal. Okay, so Angelic Renewal is a 2-mana enchantment. When a creature dies, you have the opportunity to sacrifice Angelic Renewal and return that creature to the battlefield.
Right, and so basically what you do is you get this in a loop with Auramancer, and then you have a perpetual blocker.
Which trades with most of Mono Black's threats.
Right.
And actually, let's look at this Mono Black list.
Looks like Jake got ratzed on turn 3, or Benjamin rat. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Benjamin is ratzing Jake.
So I'm looking. Those Kumbaj Witches don't look great in this list. Crypt Rats is only as a 1 of in this Mono Black list, and I'm seeing no recursion.
And so
the Oubliettes seem to be a good out for him, though.
Yeah, Oubliette will definitely help nuke Jake. He plays a turn 3 Stinkweed Imp, our favorite Dredger. The 1/2 kill whatever it deals damage to in combat Dredger. Big part of Jake's deck here.
All right, so he's probably going to start getting that engine online. He's going to start looping that and hopefully, start profitably blocking. All right, we got a Rager.
So draws a card off of the Rager, going down to 19 life.
And I don't know. This is Mono Black's game plan, basically. Like
Gray Ogres that do other things.
Gray Ogres with a little bit extra.
The Adrian Show is on hiatus. You and me and my best friend.
I'm sorry. I had to come back and ruin it like the giant, horrible troll I am.
Sam Squinch. Jake follows it up with the Auramancer.
There's the empty Auramancer, which is probably going to start looping, and we're going to start eating the 2/2s.
Right. So this is a very big play for Jake. Black has a very hard time getting enchantments off the table.
Yep. And this also means that with the Auramancer online, he can eventually get back a Tortured Existence if he winds up milling one through dredging.
Right.
Which means he can start going nuts with that dredge once that Stinkweed's in the bin. Deadweight on Stinkweed. Looks like he's not going to Angelic Renewal.
You don't need to. He wants to dredge that.
Yeah. He definitely wants to dredge that. He's probably going to trade with something here and then Angelic Renewal back the Oromancer.
Right. It just makes all these blocks so bad. Is that another Rager from Benjamin there?
I hope they release the Adrian show on DVD. We'll work on that.
We're working with the streaming services exclusively.
All right, swinging in with a pair of Grey Ogres.
Yeah, it's just gotta be a block.
Block. And he's going to choose to Angelic Renewal it back. Okay, so he's going to die. Trigger the Angelic Renewal, comes back. When he enters the battlefield, return Angelic Renewal to the hand.
Right, so Jake explaining the loop here to his opponent. So he actually has a
man.
shot here at killing it.
He does. There's this tiny little window of hope. Now, here's the question. Are we... Oh, we're just drawing. No dredge.
I think it's okay to natural draw here. Jake's not really looking for anything in particular. He just needs to buy some...
Well, for the time being, like, any attacks against him are not great.
Right.
So I think, he's just going to want to hang back, block stuff with impunity, and just eat through the devotion counters.
Right. Now, Oubliette would be a very problematic card here for Jake. And his opponent, Benjamin, does have 2 Oubliettes.
Because I'm also
in
not
his deck.
seeing any instant speed sack outlets, which means there's no good way besides using some of his removal on his own creatures. Oh, and we've got the Muldrifter. Oh, boy.
Chugga woo woo value train.
Yeah, we're getting on the value train in a big way here.
Trigger, Jake draws 2 cards. Oh, he's choosing to dredge the Imp as one of the draws.
Ooh. All right.
One of the draws here. That's pretty sweet.
It looks like it's mostly land.
So
I see a
nothing,
Wretched Griff there.
so nothing really off that first one. It doesn't look like, but
All right, and yep, yeah, just fully explaining his play here.
so now there's a Muldrifter.
All right, so we're playing Grey Ogres against other Grey Ogres. What's the white card of Tordax? Are you referring to the Angelic Renewal, Tassanara?
He ships the turn back Benjamin's way.
Yep. All right, do we just see a Grey Merchant here? Because Grey Merchant might be hard for Jake to deal with. What's his removal package look like? Seal of Doom isn't going to hit it. Crypt Rats will kill it. Chainer's Edict will kill it. But Chainer's Edict is one of... he's got Journeys, though. And Journeys are basically just removal in this matchup.
Right.
Mono Black has no way of dealing with those.
Right.
All right. So Benjamin contemplating this play here, trying to figure out if... I think he's trying to figure out if there's an out to this loop. And the out, I think, here
it's gotta be Oubliette.
It's Oubliette. Like, I don't think he has another out here in his main board.
In the sideboard, of course, we have 2 Nile Spell Bombs. But
All right. It's the Grey Merchant. Getting in for 5.
and that's fairly strong. So Grey Merchant does trigger the loop, but it will like Jake can't profitably block with Grey Merchant because his card doesn't trade for it, right?
Yeah.
So
That's going to help him actually get in. It's going to put Jake on chump mode with that Oromancer loop. I don't think he's out of this game though. I don't think the 2/4 is just doom for him. Oh,
No, not at
no
all.
attacks at all. All right, so I think he's not going to play into this loop.
if he just keeps playing Grey Merchants, that's a great way for Benjamin to win the game.
Yeah, I think the out here is, Oubliettes if he gets them to help out with avoiding that loop.
There's another Muldrifter
And then-
from Jake.
Yeah, and then just bashing in with 2/4s.
Jake drawing 2 cards, no dredge this time. I don't think the Imp is even in the bin, to be honest with you.
No.
Oh, it looks like he evoked it. Ooh.
Oh, Angelic Renewal on the evoked Muldrifter. Draw 4.
That's pretty spice of ice.
Ooh.
Chugga woo woo value train.
Yeah, we're seeing what Tordex does. It just plays all these value combinations.
But Jake's
and-
list is, you'll notice that Jake has not actually resolved the Tortured Existence this game. It's all off this Angelic Renewal.
Yeah, this is kind of more in the Mardu realm of things, where the Mardu Tordex list just runs value creatures, and then if it has Tordex, it just goes nuts.
And there's the Tortex from Jake.
All right, and this one's getting read by his opponent because if you're not familiar with this format, that is a weird card. It really doesn't feel like a common at all.
Lets you discard a creature, and then return another creature from your graveyard to your hand.
Yeah, for 1 black. So right now he does not have Tordex up. Although, actually, wait, is he activating it?
No, he had a black mana up. What happened
Yeah,
to it?
he just tapped the swamp. So
Okay.
I think he's trying to figure out what he wants to get back. This is just like an ultimate toolbox deck. Like, it's up there with teachings in terms of like options you have at any point in the game. Oh,
Drops a land. Is
All right.
it legal? Resolves. Looks like Jake thinking through his play here. Not quite sure what he wants to get back yet. What would you get back? What is
all
he
right.
in the yard?
I am not seeing what exactly.
looks like
Okay, he's getting back a Muldrifter.
What did he discard? Did you see?
I could not
Yeah,
actually
it's
spot
It's
that.
a little bit off camera, unfortunately. But getting back a Muldrifter from the Tordex.
He. All right. Oh, it looks like he pitched a Stinkweed.
Ah, okay, that makes
All
sense.
right,
He's
so-
setting up
so
a
we're-
dredge.
Yeah, we're getting a dredge here real soon. Chainer's Edict. That's going to eat the Oromancer. Okay. And now he's just got a Muldrifter online. And is Benjamin just going to start bashing in with that Gray Merchant?
I mean, the
'Cause there's-
shields are down for Jake, so I think I would.
Yeah,
I mean, the shields are down. I say that. Jake can easily get back to the Muldrifter, so maybe it's not a good attack. Job, looking through this list, do we see any Golgari Brown Scales in there, Mike? I don't see any.
Oh, and another Gray Merchant for 7? Whew.
Yeah, Job, I do not see any.
No, there are
brown
no
scales.
brown scales in the Esper list. Yeah, right now there's nothing going on outside of their colors, outside of Jake's colors that he's doing in this deck.
So if he
All
has
right.
one more Gray, if Benjamin has one more Gray Merchant, he will win. That will be 9. That
Yup.
would be the 9. So that might be what he's playing to here, is because the deck runs 4 Gray Merchants. Gray Merchant's a hell of a card.
All right, he's bashing in for 6.
Yeah, why not?
All right, Jake's gonna set up the trade here.
And I think I might have traded for the Rats there just because it's more Devotion pips.
The question is, do you want to trade for more Devotion pips, or do you want to trade for the thing that's going to be worse if he has a Unearth in hand?
Do you think? I guess he's just gonna dredge. So yeah, I guess the
All right.
Ranger is worse.
Trying to pick
For
that
him.
out. I see a Squad Hawk. Ooh, Squad Hawk might be interesting here.
Yeah, Squad Hawk would produce him with this. We give him a series of blockers basically.
He might just pitch something. He might pitch that Putrid Imp again, just to get the Squad Hawk back, just so he can Ancestral himself.
Looks like he cast Lone Missionary there, so gain
Yep,
4
yep.
life
All right, so that's putting him just outside
of a Gray Merchant kill.
of a Gray Merchant kill, and I think that's where he wants to be right now. All right,
Another Imp.
we're seeing an Imp, so the Imp's probably going to chump something and try and even out this field a little bit. All right.
Back to Benjamin, untapping.
I'm not sure quite how much mana he's on. All right, he's just bashing in.
I
Lone
don't
Missionary's
know how I feel about
trading.
this attack because I like the Gray Merchant plan.
All right, so he's just getting in for 2, and now Gray Merchant is no longer lethal.
Yeah.
I think Jake has an advantage here, and he's got 1 mana up, so he's going to Tordex at end of turn.
Do you think he's going to dredge, or do you think he's going to? Oh, never mind. He
He's
can't dredge. I don't
pitching
know.
a Fume Spitter to get back what appears to be a Lone Missionary. I think he's just going to start gaining a bunch of life now, and he might dredge on his upkeep. Or his draw step, excuse me.
We're making some adjustments here, everyone.
Yep.
Let me know if that's still
The
bad, or if
mics
that sounds a
are-
little better.
The mics are tuned way up on sensitivity so that we can pick ourselves up a little bit better. But my apologies. All right. Man, just
going to Value Town.
We've got to be getting to the point where Jake has to worry about all the dredge activations and how much of his library he needs to win. Because decking yourself is always real in this. All right, so going up to 11.
This one
pretty
goes up
much-
to 11.
Pretty much out of range, and I'm looking at the list here for the mono black. I don't see corrupt in that.
Ooh.
I think this might be a turning point. I think Jake has stabilized well enough,
Yeah,
and he can loop that.
I think it comes down to that attack that got made. I don't think that was a very good attack, and I think now.
Yeah, I
it's-
think that attack just kind of goozled him.
Kind of what?
Goozled him.
Goozled him?
Goozled.
They goozled him. You heard it here, guys. Folks.
Yeah, it's when you make a mistake that hurts yourself. All right, so we got the Oromancer back. Oh no, this is
So what do you think the odds of Jake decking himself are? Because you did mention that.
decking himself.
Yeah.
He's probably about halfway through his deck. He's just got to realize that at some point the dredge has to stop. If he keeps dredging, he's just going to be at 0 cards, and then an accidental Mull Drifter could put him over the edge.
Yeah.
That is one of the concerns. He is running. How many Mull Drifters do we got in here? He's got the full 4, and those are going to help contribute to like decking himself just a little bit quicker.
I just don't think it matters. I think he's
and
gonna,
here's the Gurmag angler on the other side of the field.
I just don't think Jake cares about that. He can block it all day. I think what he needs to start doing though is attacking with Mull Drifters and trying to win that way.
Yeah.
Just
I
go in the
mean,
air.
so this mono black list does run 4 copies of Tendrils of Corruption. Do you think that could come into play?
There's only 2.
There's only 2?
Yeah, the
oh,
four,
yeah.
the
Oh,
four's
sorry,
the next
sorry.
card up, which is Sign in Blood.
My mistake. I can't read. All right, so it looks like we got a chump there. Oh, that means he's just going to be gaining 4 life every turn. Like, he's just going to keep looping that that lone missionary just to keep up on life.
And we're just going to update the round counter real fast. We're actually not on round 1. Just noticed that. Got so excited with the game. And here we see the lone missionary cast again from Jake, going up to 16 life. Mike making a last-minute adjustment as Jake plays another Angelic Renewal. Oh my God, will the beats ever stop? Will the goozling ever stop? There we go. All right, Jake.
I don't like it when you say goozling. I'm the only one allowed to say that.
All right, fine. Jake sends it back Ben's way. Ben untaps, draws his card for turn. Looks like another Gurmag angler maybe, or is it a Tendrils of Corruption?
Man, just these life totals are going to make for a very, very long game.
That's what we're here for, right?
And I'm not okay. Angelic Renewal and Tordex both online is really, really
so
hard to get around.
Yeah. At what point? Like Jake seems to have this game pretty well in hand. Do you like at what point do you say I can't win this one?
At what point do you say I can't win this game? When he's out of cards. I'm dead serious. When he's about to deck himself, that's when he can't win.
No, I mean from Benjamin's standpoint here.
All right, so he's blocking each one of these. He could have double blocked the Gray Merchant and gone to 11. All right, he's Tendrils of Corruptioning that.
So
his opponent is going to gain a ton of life here. It looks like 7, 8 life.
Yeah, and it's just
And he's going to do the Angelic Renewal loop here. That just makes sense to me.
Yeah, so what's interesting is like you said, I'm not sure how either player is really going to close out this game. The life gains are real.
Yeah, we've got a. This is going to be a real grind.
Thanks, Mike.
Whew. Yeah, no, this was my fault. I think Retrogriff might be better for winning than Mull Drifter for winning the game. Yeah, Mull Drifter is probably a little slower, and Retrogriff does block a little bit more profitably. I think he really wants to get one of those online. That would be good for him.
And then his opponent is only on something higher than 10 turn clock. Can't math right now. Another Angelic Renewal tapping out. Could this be the Retrogriff? No, it's a Mull Drifter.
No, it's a Mull Drifter. Let's go. All right, now does he draw 2? I think he just does. I think at this point he's got all the dredging he needs.
Yeah, Jake chooses to draw 2 off his Mull Drifter.
Yep. I think I saw another Mull Drifter. They come in pairs.
Passes
Drifter,
back,
Drifter.
no attacks.
All right. So here's the question: I think he's just going to start using the Oromancer as a chump every turn.
Try and get him with the Mull Drifter.
Yeah. Man, these 2 life totals are just ballooning constantly. I'm not sure if we're going to close out game 1 here. That's going to be.
Looks like Jake is thinking about double blocking here. Yeah, and he just opts to go ahead and kill the. I think that's correct. He's gonna get all of his stuff back.
Oh, we got to get an order of blockers.
Yeah.
Who's dying here?
So yeah, it's a pickle, right? The Oromancer is just going to get the Angelic Renewal back in hand. The Mull Drifter is.
All right, so he's killing it. He's Angelic Renewal looping it. Man. This might just be a hard lock at this point unless he can get another threat on board.
It's too bad Jake's not running Felden's Crane. Because then he could just shuffle his graveyard back into his library.
Yep, Felden's Cane, legal in Paper Pauper.
Keep on going, chugga chugga woo woo hype train.
All right. What's Jake up to? He's probably getting that angelic renewal back out. Almost
Draws for
definitely.
turn.
All right,
Gains a
we're going to
life.
gain a life. All right, now he can just...
This looks like a
Ooh.
Mole Drifter. Oh, flashing back
Chainer's Edict.
Okay.
Oh, the one of Chainer's Edict that he milled earlier.
Now Jake can start getting in with his his
He's now
gray
going to
ogre.
start... He's now going to start pecking him to death with a 2/2. Amazing. This is where we are, ladies and gentlemen.
This is Pauper.
Oh, interesting. The
You, me, and my
the
best friend,
witches.
there is a deck list available. We'll see about getting some of these up on our website.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to get these deck lists typed up and stream at the same time, so little tricky.
Well-
And if you just watch closely, you could probably figure out like 50 cards out.
Well, his graveyard is impossible to see. We will get you that deck list.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Elf.
Yeah, welcome back. You joined us just in time for the grindiest matchup I think we could have possibly used.
There's no teachings.
Yeah. Although teachings, I feel, would be able to make sure that Tordex shenanigans don't happen. So that might actually speed things up.
Jake goes ahead and casts another Null Drifter, draws a couple cards off of it.
Yep. 2 mana. What are we getting here? Yep, the angelic renewal. All right.
Benjamin looks like he's going through his own graveyard just to see what's going on in there. Jake
Yep.
getting in for another 2 points of damage.
I think the only thing he has that's graveyard related in his main deck is 3 of Chainer's Edict. I think apart from that, he's got 2 on Earth, but apart from that, I don't think there's anything in there that interacts with that graveyard.
Jake
Oh,
plays a
Fume Spitter.
Spitter and puts a -1/-1 counter on the. Wait, what just happened? When did he play that? Is this Jake's second main, first main? It's his second main, right? He's explaining how the -1/-1
Yep,
counter
yep,
will kill
yep.
the witches.
Yep. All right, so Witches is off the table. That means that, wow. All right.
Yeah, this Tordex deck is just going to grind Benjamin to a nub here. Deeperition, I think there's only one Teachings player.
Yeah, I think
And
I think we've got one teachings
I think
player,
we all know
and
who
we're,
it is.
we'll try and get him on cam at some point.
He's actually pretty good, so.
All right, so we've got not a great board state on either side, but
Well, Jake's now, now Jake is going to start getting in there. He's got multiple 2-power creatures on the table. This looks like 6 damage a turn. How many cards does
Yep.
Benjamin have in hand? Is he hellbent? I don't see a hand from Benjamin, so.
if he's hellbent, this is just going to be rough. Like he wants to rip into like a Sign in Blood and maybe 2 threats, because he's got no way to get those Gray Merchants back.
And here comes the Squad Hawk beats.
Yep. All right, and I think there's one in the bin, so I think he's getting one. Okay, he's just getting one. Now,
Yeah,
do you think he's grabbing that just so that he has Tordex fuel?
I don't know. Maybe,
That's kind of.
It's also possible the other 2 in the graveyard, and I definitely see one in the graveyard. All right, so Jake tapping 2 mana here. Looks like another Squadron Hawk, so it was not just for Tordex fuel. So I do believe that Jake has this game pretty much in hand. I don't think he cares really much about this Gurmag Angler. He can still attack for 4 in the air between the Mole Drifter and the 2 Squadron Hawks, and can litter the ground with blockers. So I think we're going to see a point here where Jake is going to be able to close out this game a little bit more quickly. Jake untaps, draws for turn. Can't see what went to his hand, unfortunately. Get in with everyone? Yeah, Jake just choosing to attack with everyone. Excluding the ground. Okay, it looked like he was turning his Oromancer sideways. So Benjamin forced to just go ahead and take 4 here. Taps for 3 mana, plays a Stinkweed Imp, which can either be a blocker or be on the flying attack duty. Sends it back Benjamin's way, it looks like. Or does he have another follow-up play? Something going on with the. All right, I don't know what's going on with the echo. I've tried moving the mic around a little. Tell me if that's a little better. Looks like there's something going on here. I think maybe Jake's considering his next play. I thought the lone missionary might have been involved. Benjamin looking to play a chainers here. Jake triggering the loop again. Sacking the Ormancer, getting back the card. Benjamin reading it. Ooh, and there's the oubliette. So oubliette is a big deal here. So now Jake no longer has access to the Ormancer loop, which we discussed a little bit earlier. Not sure what just happened. Looked like maybe Benjamin was considering casting the chainers, but ended up casting the oubliette instead. Back to Jake. Jake untaps. Draws his card for turn. Oh, that looked like a journey to nowhere. So it's possible he'll be able to just go ahead and journey. Swings for 5. Benjamin down to a still fairly healthy 23 life total, but at 5 damage a turn, we're looking at a 5-turn clock here. And there's the journey.
Oh, and there's the journey to nowhere.
Yeah, he just top decked that. So journeying on the Gurmag Angler.
All right.
Let me know if that echo has been resolved, or if it's still a problem. I just keep shuffling around in my seat.
Yeah, we're a little cramped back here, so there's kind of no room for the mics without us like being out of cam from one another. We apologize. We're working with what we got. I would love to have a more professional setup, but
commentating from the heavens. Thank you, Elf Archer. What a guy.
Yeah, that's the brightest way to look at this. All right, so what do we got from him here?
Now I'll use my God voice.
All right,
I won't do that.
What was what's under the oubliette?
It's the Ormancer. Benjamin finally drew an oubliette and was able to nix the Ormancer combo, but I just don't think. It goes back to that turn where Benjamin attacked.
Yeah,
and I just don't think he should have.
I think that might have been the fatal turn.
Yeah.
Although it might take us another 20 or 30 minutes to find out if it was.
Twitch user, is there any way we can show them the round time?
We will see about getting that together between our rounds.
Yeah, we'll see if we can pop that in real fast.
I believe we should be finishing pretty much on the hour in terms of round time. We should be done in about 26 minutes. We will try and get that on screen for the next round and let you know.
Jake has another Ormancer, so he'll be able to resume the loop.
Yep.
There was an F&M where Mike and I played Pig Trinket against each other, and that was a time where time ceased to exist.
Yeah, no, this is super grindy, but I think Tordex just has the inevitability in this match.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just the NBC deck I think is pretty much like Jake just has so much advantage right now, and it has the flyers and has the dredgers and has the Ormancer loop, and he's just been able to get online here. And I don't see how the Elf Archer, are you sure that's not my stutter? Guavildo, I agree.
Conceding seems better for time concerns. Yes,
I agree.
But you got to remember, if you only play one game and you win that game, you win the match. So awkward, but definitely a strategy that might get utilized here.
He just has no board. I just don't see it.
Yeah.
Like Jake's gonna win in the next 2 turns here. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 2 more turns. Barring, of course, another Tendrils of Corruption from Benjamin, because I believe he still has 1 left in his deck. There it is. Jake has no way to. Oop. I just hit the mic.
What's up?
I just hit the pop filter. It's fine.
Oh, no. All right. Drawing to game 1 is smart for the winner. Yep. All right. So this is going to get him back up on life, but I really feel like you might just want to go to game 2 so that he can get the Nihil spell bombs and the font of return in. I'm not sure the winning move here is.
It looks like he only gained a net of 4 life off of that.
Like, I just don't think that this is a tenable way for Mono Black to win this. I think you go to game 2, and I think you try and close out games 2 and 3, and then move on.
Right, and now the Mono Black player is, again, hellbent. And all that is on the board is his head.
He's not hellbent. I'm seeing that is definitely a Victimonite.
Oh, he's not? Okay, I didn't see that.
He's trying to figure out if he can kill something with that profitably, and the answer, I think, is no.
Any creature that gets killed, Jake will just bring back. It's a tortured existence, right?
Yeah.
They're like, I'm dead. No, I'm back.
Yeah, this is just
so
going to keep going.
Very tortured. I'm just so
tortured. It's
tortured.
Keep going round and round until...
No, it's going to be over pretty soon.
All right, so he's at 13.
Only dreams now.
Yeah, only dreams. Man, this is just...
There's the victim.
I apologize to people who don't like the grind, but I'm really enjoying
Mike
this.
lives for the grind.
I live
Mike
for the
gets up
grind.
every morning, and it's like, where's that coffee? I got to grind. Then he grinds his coffee. And then he watches a couple episodes of The Grinder starring Rob Lowe, a travesty it was canceled, and says, time to grind.
All right.
And then he gets some meat for dinner, but he wants hamburger.
Also ground, yeah.
So he's like, I got to grind.
Can you keep this concept for comedy continued? Are we just going to beat it to death?
No, I think 3 is good. I think. You see what I have to deal with here over on the Adrian show? I got to deal with producers who don't understand my concept.
I'm so sorry. All right, so, man, there's so little to say when...
No, there's plenty to say. There's plenty.
It just keeps going, though.
I mean, it's the grind.
Has he run out of tendrils of corruptions?
Yes,
at least?
he's used both.
He's got 1 Gray Merchant left, or 2?
I want to say 2.
Okay, so 2 Gray Merchants, like those. That's the only way we can go up in life on that side of the table, and that's not getting there.
He's at 8. Jake has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. 5 power in play. We're on a 2-turn clock.
All right. Oh, Sign in Blood makes it a 1-turn.
Yeah.
Oh, does it? Or did that put him 2-6? Man, you can't fidget with that angler. It's never coming back, buddy.
There's Gray Merchant.
Okay,
so
Gray Merchant as a way to stabilize here.
Opponent goes to... Oh, right, there's Oubliettes in play. So that's actually quite a big life swing.
Oh, that's right. That's a 6-pointer. All right, well, Gray Merchant is going to hold down the ground. I'm trying to look through. I don't think there's anything that gets through that
journey?
Merchant.
Yep, journey.
Oh, and there's the journey. Man, he has just been drawing hot this whole game.
It looks like his lands are all stacked up there next to his graveyard. Where's his... Oh, his deck is there as well.
Yeah, his lands are all piled there. I'm actually going to ask someone if he could to run over and let him know that we would appreciate those being spread out a little bit more. Can you take care of that?
Mike sends a runner.
Yeah, we're getting some help from people around the store who we happen to know. Hopefully we'll get those lands spread out a little bit more, just so we have an idea of where he's at. 5, 6. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of swamps.
Thanks, Ian.
Wow, going to 2 here. Crypt Rats.
I think there's only about 20 minutes left in the round, to be honest with you. Feed the Toad.
Feed the Toad, we will be trying to get a round timer in for next round. And he's popping Crypt Rats for 2, and that's the hand. All right, we're going to game 2 here. And I'm unsure if we're actually going to see game 3. All right, so now
So
the
let's
question
look
is,
at the sideboards real fast.
yeah,
You got to
let's
think
look at our sideboard.
mono black
So
is definitely bringing in Nihil Spellbomb.
does it bring in
right.
duress to try and deal with some of those pesky enchantments?
It doesn't matter. He is Oromancer.
It's
So
true.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. So I'm seeing Choking Sands on the sideboard. Did we see any Karuz in Jake's list? I think he runs some.
Let's
Does
look.
He runs a one of Demir
Yeah, he
Aqueduct.
has 2 Ors of Basilicas and a Demir Aqueduct. So the
So that might be something you bring in
Yeah.
to punish them for the greedy mana base. I'm willing to bet that Jake's going to be pulling out the Seals of Doom because they have no targets whatsoever.
what would you bring in instead?
What would I bring in instead? I'm seeing there's another 2 Chainer's Edicts out the board. I'm seeing a Seal of Cleansing that can be looped to keep blowing up Oubliettes
Yeah.
to keep mono blacks.
So there's only 2 Oubliettes, but that might be enough for Jake to want to bring them in, especially since the Seal of Dooms do absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I think you're just going to swap those out. I'm also seeing a pair of Fairy Macaques. Now, on the list for mono black, there's a Font of Return. Do you think he pulls in the Fairy Macaques expecting there to be
I don't think he
graveyard
I don't
manipulation?
think he cares. He's,
You don't think he
he's
cares?
the better graveyard manipulation deck. Like his value is just so much better, even against the Unearthed. I don't know. I don't really play these decks that much, but I just can't see the
You just can't.
the Fairy Macaques being very. I mean, he can loop them, exile his opponents. He might because of that. Maybe also because of Gurmag Angler, and then he'll be able to keep looping them, and then in the end game they're 2/2 flyers, which soar right over the black ground
Yeah,
creatures.
yeah.
So that might be a good enough reason to go ahead and bring them in.
And he has to be expecting Grave Hate. So here's the question, though. If you're Jake, do you play for the tie? Do you play for the draw in game 2?
There's only like 17 minutes left in the round, right? Because the round ends at noon. So
I believe that's correct.
I don't know. Knowing Jake, I don't think he will, because
Yes.
I just think he's going to. I think
He's
the kind of
gonna-
guy
he's gonna
who's
put it all.
He's going to play his best. He's not going to slow. He's not going to stall. If he's slowing, it's because he's legitimately thinking about something. But I've never known him to stall out a game.
No. But maybe he also brings in Crypt Rats just as a way to deal with that wall of 2/2s. Guavildo, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. You should play for the win, but sometimes in a tournament setting, people will play for the draw because if they have 1 win, 1 draw,
Well,
it goes to the person who won the 1 round.
Unless the mono black player can end the game in about 5 minutes here, I think Jake is heavily favored to win this match right now.
Yeah, I think Jake kind of has this on lock. I don't want to say it 100%, but I'd say at this point in terms of the match result, we're looking at like a 90-10, just because mono black doesn't usually kill that quickly. So unless he basically goes great like Chittering Rats into like a pair of Kumbaji Witches into Grey Merchant, Grey Merchant, Grey Merchant, Grey Merchant.
That just gives Jake so
yeah.
much time to set up. Really,
It
I
gi-
think it's going to come down to whether or not Benjamin has the Nihil spell bombs here.
Yeah, the Nihil Spellbombs will set Jake back.
But-
The question is, when do you pop them?
Yeah, I think Jake can fight through them as well, because he has redundancy in his graveyard recursion pieces.
And that's the other thing. Like, at what point with this Tordex list do you pop it? Like, because they can, if they've got Tordex out, they can swap some things around, and you might not get everything you wanted to. And Nihil Spellbomb is a one-use.
Right.
You don't get a
Right,
second
it's not Relic.
chance. It's not like Relic, which would be much better in this matchup.
Yeah, but since he's playing mono black, I can see why he would play the spell bombs over the relics.
All right, we're looking at hands here.
Looks like Jake is going to keep. It looks like both of our players are going to keep. Starting
We're
off
both keeping
off
at
the
7?
swamp, no duress. It looks like that'd be pretty sick.
And no first turn Spellbomb, which I'm sure he would be seeing.
Jake go ahead and gains the life, throws it back Benjamin's way.
Actually, a good question. I saw sideboard. Jake has a Wisp Mare, which is a piece of enchantment removal on an evoke body. Do we think we might have brought that in instead as a loopable thing? Because it also hits artifacts.
Back to Jake. Oh, that'd be true, because then he could hit the Nihil Spellbomb and force him to use it early.
All right, we got 1 black.
There's the
Tordex. Yep. Does he not have another land?
doesn't.
Oh, please. Oh, no. Here we go.
Yeah, it
here
looks
we
like
go.
he's deciding.
Oh,
which
it
one
looks
he
looks like a
sequence.
basilica. I can spot that art from here.
So now
All
we'll
right,
get to
Basilica?
see if Benjamin brought in the land
Choking
destruction or not.
Sands.
Choking Sands or not.
Well, Choking Sands is 3 mana, so All right. Just explaining the Basilica. Man, he could get so harshly punished. What
He's
is...
cycling in an earth.
Yep. Cycling on Earth on the end step. Just digging. Just digging.
Up to 3 mana now on his third turn. Playing a Phyrexian Rager. Go ahead and drop, losing a life, drawing a card there. Now he's got a gray ogre on board. Excuse me.
Yep.
Take draws for turn. Looks like he drew another.
Here's the thing. If we get to the point where he has a Stinkweed Imp and a Lone Missionary.
This looks like a Lone Missionary to me. There it is.
Yup. Yeah. All right, so we're getting pretty close to time in the round. We've got a lot of people crowding around this feature match area, and hopefully that'll make it so they can't hear me doing commentary over here. All right, so what are the outs here for this black player? I think it's just gonna be can he get like gray merchants online and just start looping them? Just keep playing them and hope that gets in there. What's the time on the mic? What's the time on the sheet? 11:02. All right, apologies there. We're just figuring some stuff out on the back end. So we've got about 10 minutes left in the round, so there is actually going to be some amount of play on this game. We might get to see an end to game 2. These Squad Hawks though are going to make that difficult. That's a lot of jumping. And is Mike muted still? I'm seeing stuff on my end. Might be lag. It looks like those Squad Hawks are just going to provide enough jump blockers to get there. God, it is so quiet. Can someone please? Can someone please start a conversation somewhere so I can actually talk on commentary? Because I can't say anything about this game. It's dead quiet. Yeah, all right, folks, the mic is on. The room has gone pretty much entirely silent, so I don't really feel comfortable commentating on this in an effort to not give players an advantage. Hopefully there will be some discussion happening that will cover up my voice. I apologize for this. Hopefully we can at least get to the end of the round soon, because this is real stressful, and I apologize for this. We're on the other side of the room, but it's quiet as a tomb in here. So no speculative lines of play. All right, so 4 Squad Hawks on the board, and ooh, all right, Crypt Rats wiping out all those Squadron Hawks. All right. We could discuss the meta breakdown. We actually had a pretty diverse meta. We only saw like about, I want to say 4 Drakes or so. Yes, I could tell people to put in earplugs. I could tell everyone. I could tell everyone in the feature match area to put in earplugs and hope that they don't feel the need to pull them out. Yeah, I can just commentate on the board state, but not a whole lot going on. So we just had Crypt Rats back and forth. This is really just stalling out at this point. I think Tortured Existence kind of has a better deal here because they can start getting stuff back in response to Spellbomb. Neither side of this is great, though. This is just kind of stalled out. Oh, and here comes the Angler. All right. There are no trinket lists, sadly. I think Adrian and I would be the only ones on trinket. So we can't really see any hidden info. It's just I would prefer not to speculate on lines of play and give strategic advice without meaning to. But honestly, this just looks like if that angler can get in there a bunch, I think Mono Black can close this out. If that angler can't, we're just going to a game 2 draw. So yeah, we had dueling Crypt Rats, Adrian.
The dueling Crypt Rats.
That's what happened. Oh, and here's a Mull Drifter. Oh, are we? Oh. It looks like we're Tordexing a Mull Drifter to get back Lone Missionary. Yep. We're going on the life gain plan, and it looks like Jake is playing to the draw here.
We've got 7 minutes left in the round. Well, he's not necessarily playing the draw. He's playing so that he can not die. Right?
And there's a journey to follow it up. Yeah.
Like, it's fine to play to not die, He's not like, I don't know.
All right, so
we're going back.
Alrighty.
Going back to Benjamin's turn.
Looks like a Baron Moor. Must be a little light on land. Usually you want to be cycling those bad boys.
Yeah, especially this late in the game. It looks like I think he has a Chainers in hand. It looks like maybe.
But do you really want a Chainers?
No,
I don't know. So Jake is tapped out. Like he can't Tordex tricks anything back.
Not now. It looks like the
Not
Nile
now.
Spellbomb's already been popped. So
no, it's actually under his hand if you look closely.
Oh, I see the graveyard now.
Oh, dead weight on it.
Yeah, this
and then
this
oh
might
yep,
be,
he's popping the spell bomb.
Yeah.
So what's his follow up here? And he's drawing a card off the spell bomb as well. All right, so Jake has exiled a bunch of great stuff. He still does have that Tortured Existence though, so he could possibly get live again.
Yeah. He could possibly still be in this.
All right, another land for turn. Looks like an Evolving Wilds.
Right.
All right.
So this is another tough position for Benjamin. Benjamin has to win this game to draw, but Jake's at 22 life, and Benjamin has no board presence.
And he's already lost one of the anglers, and I think there's only one more in the deck.
So it looks like this game might indeed go to turns in Jake's favor.
Yep, there's only 2 Gurmag anglers in this whole deck. He's gotten rid of one of the biggest threats in the...
Twitch user, there are elf decks in the tournament.
We might be able to see it next round. We were planning to do, it's 6 rounds today, and we're planning to do the first 3 rounds highlighting interesting brews and stuff, and then the last 3 rounds we're going to be highlighting people who have been doing well, and I think both of the elf decks have been doing pretty solidly today. Someone has just informed me that they're both 2-0 as of now, so if one of them at least gets to the 3-0, we can definitely feature something on camera. All right, man, just real slog here. I'm almost tempted to cut because I don't think there's a way that Mono Black wins.
We watch to the bitter end. You will watch. You made your bed, Mike, and now you will sleep in it.
Yeah.
Jake popping the Evolving Wilds, getting another land source here.
I'm pretty sure we aren't going to be able to get an interview in after this.
No, we're going to go to the next round. Getting another swamp.
All right. Let's see what we got here. Are we just gonna Tortured Existence back that Mull Drifter? Just keep drawing cards and having a 2/2.
It seems good enough. All right, and time has just been called.
All right, time has been called in round. I believe
So I think
that
it's-
makes Jake turn 0.
Right, and I don't see a way for the mono black list to win this from 20 life. Maybe we can follow it up with multiple gray merchants.
So the next one will be 4. The next one after that will be 6. The next one after that will be 8. That's still, even if he's bashing in,
Not quite enough.
not quite enough, because that if that Muldrifter can start getting looped, what happens?
Jake gaining a life, tapping 2 mana. Gaining 4 life.
I think this officially puts him out of range. All right, so this is turn 1, Benjamin.
And then a wretched griff.
Sacrificing. Oh, this is just. Yeah,
Value
we're-
town.
I think Jake's got this one in the bag. All
Going
right.
back to Ben's turn 2.
Another land.
Dead weights the
Dead
griff.
Weight's the
okay.
Griff. I don't know if that does
Oh,
anything
he adds
here.
another pip for Gray Merchant.
Oh, Gray Merchant for 5. All right, so we've got 20 life left. It also means that Griff no longer just starts chumping efficiently. It's just going to actually die here.
No, because the griff is still a 2/3.
No, it's not.
Oh, right,
Dead
-2,
weight is
-2.
-2,
Yeah,
-2.
you're right.
It's a 1/2.
You're right. You right.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm not being
I think if
critical
I was
here.
Jake, I think I still would have blocked there just because it gets rid of a devotion pip.
Oh, he's just running out the time. He knows that I don't think they can. I don't think his opponent can win in time.
Oh, okay. Well, that's even better play. Eating that griff with another griff.
Oh, the plays.
The beats are real.
Oh, that's just man.
So Jake's on turn 3.
This might not have been the most efficient match to watch,
No, it's fine.
but hoo boy.
This is Mike's wheelhouse right here. We saw
Yeah.
Infinity.
Oh,
And
and
then
the
we saw some
and the
Mike's.
return dead weight, just back at him.
And then a journey.
Oh, and a journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is over. This is over. This is gonna be a draw for game 2, and we're just gonna. Jake's gonna get this one. In the grindy, in the true fashion of grindy decks, only game 1 matters. Yep. At least we're not seeing a tie. Draws mess up brackets, and it's.
I think Jake is turn 5 now. Is that what's going on?
Yes,
there's the
and we're
handshake.
getting the handshake. We are moving on to the next round.
Welcome back to the
And
booth.
welcome back to the booth.
That was intense.
That was long-winded and arduous, if anything.
But now we can maybe see something pretty sweet. We're going to take a quick break here while we line up next round's deck list, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Wonderful. Welcome back,
Yep.
Pauper players.
Last of the brew rounds here. I know it's another NBC deck, but really we wanted to showcase the Cyborg Brew as it's, I believe, the unofficial mascot of the Discord channel at this point.
So this is red-white cyborgs at that. This is not the mono-white list. We've got like a couple Galv Blasts in there. Is he running Rally the Peasants?
I am checking on that right now, Michael. I do not see a Rally the Peasants in the list. And
Alright.
interestingly, a land in the sideboard, a Windscarred Crag. I always think that's interesting. And a Guard of the Guild pack. So actually, this was a pretty good deck for us to choose because
We just featured a deck
yeah,
like
we
this.
just talked about this deck last week.
Though that red splash, super interesting. It does give the deck a bit more reach, while sacrificing a bit of its mana efficiency.
Scoot over a little.
Yeah.
We're trying to fix the echo.
All right, we're pretty far away now. There should be minimal echo, hopefully. All right, so
That is correct. The normal Pauper, but the price payout, they can either choose from a list of extremely valuable cards. I think the most expensive of which is Tarmogoyf, or they can choose to take.
most expensive of which is actually City of
Okay,
Traders.
there's a City of Traders in the pool. That's pretty dope.
Although I don't know if we got enough people for that full prize pool.
Gotcha.
We can tell people about the prize pool later. It was based on a number of entrants and all that good stuff.
Yeah. So our players are reviewing their hands right now.
Yep.
Is there any way we can get this a little bigger, just so we can see? Cool. Thanks. Looks like Derek's on
All
the
right.
play, starting off with the Baron Moore, back to the Cyborg Bobby.
Yep.
Starts with the
And-
Ancient Den, and here we go.
Ardent Recruit.
So
All
just a
right,
turn
so-
1/3/3, no big deal.
No, turn 1/1/1. It needs Metalcraft.
Oh, it needs Metalcraft.
Remember.
Gotcha. Right. I know what cards do in Pauper.
All right. Now, does Derek actually have just the?
Danny, come play at Pat's, dog. That's where I play now.
Yep. Pat's is our weekly go-to. All right.
Derek with a Swamp and a
and
Witch.
Kumbaj Witches.
So unless Bobby can deploy 2 artifacts this turn, which is not unlikely, like it's pretty likely. There's
All right.
one.
There's the second artifact land. There's a Court
and there's
Homunculus,
2.
and now he has 5 power on the board,
Right,
and he's Galv blasting the Witches. Oh.
Yeah, so this is a great start
This
from
just
Bobby.
tore out of the gate.
So now he's going to be attacking for 5 power next turn.
Holy, oh my God, this is aggressive.
Yeah, this is
Oh
good.
my God.
This is Mike just can't believe it. Mr. Grind Train over here just can't believe a deck could possibly play 2 things in
Well,
one turn.
Well, here's the thing.
An Oubliette targeting.
Oubliette
And
targeting
I
Ardent
can see it
Recruit.
either way. If you target the Homunculus, Metalcraft goes away because it counts for that. But
But
at the same time,
how likely is Metalcraft to get back on
it
again?
very.
Yeah.
But so yeah, take the bigger threat.
Oh,
Prophetic
Prophetic
Prism.
Prism. All right, so we're now pretty firmly into artifact territory, and actually,
it
Mono
Glenhawk?
Black has no way to deal with these artifacts.
The
Oh, and
ones
no-
that are not creatures, you mean?
Yeah. Obviously, Mono Black has great ways to deal with creatures. All right, we're getting a Rager.
Ranger's actually pretty good. It blocks
Dropping
the,
him down to 14.
It blocks the 2/2s.
All right, can I see the deck list here?
Yeah, here you go.
Because I'm curious as to what sort of graveyard shenanigans the Mono Black list is up to.
Danny, we play here on Fridays.
All right, so I'm seeing a single unearth main deck. Oh man, Mono Black player has 2 Duresses in the main deck that are just going to be pretty much dead here.
Yeah. Glint Hawk and 4. It gets him for 2. Glint Hawk's back. What did he Glint Hawk back?
I am guessing it was a Prophetic Prism.
It's still on the
And
field, though. Maybe he played another one. And there we
he-
have a
Oh.
Raven Inspector.
Oh no, he tapped the two Great Furnaces to get the Prism back out.
Gotcha.
And we've got Raven Inspector, we've got a Clue on board. Wow, this is just like this is just a glorious example of how quick this deck can be.
Another Rager from Derek. Draws a card looking for an out here. Really just needs some sort of removal. Does he have a Crypt Rats?
Chainer's Edict, and that's just gonna eat the Raven Inspector. It's done its job.
Is there Crypt Rats in Derek's deck?
I'm seeing 1 main board and 1 sideboard.
That could clean
and
up
That's
here.
it.
Back Bobby. Bobby draws. Does he have a Bone Splitter? Playing a Plains. Tap. There it is, the Bone Splitter. Suiting up the Hawk.
And
Getting it
this,
for 4.
yeah, just bashing in for 4, and
I mean,
he's on a
it's-
2-turn clock now.
But it's not that Derek can't gain life or kill these creatures. So I don't think he's out of... I don't think Bobby has this game zipped up yet, so to speak.
He-
I think there are still ways that Derek has outs here. I see another chainer in his hand at the very least.
I mean, the issue is the chainers aren't going to be eating the threats until it might be too late.
Right.
If he's got double chainers, sure, he can maybe get there. Or if he has a gray merchant just to get back in the game by upping his life total enough where he's padded and safe. I don't know, man. This is...
It's intense. It's intense. Derek's really on the back foot here. It looks like he's trying to think about how to sequence his removal spells.
Well, because here's the thing. Early game, like that Kumbaj Witches looked like it was going to dominate the board. It was immediately invalidated the next turn and killed.
Right.
Like,
There's the
all
chainers.
right,
Getting rid of
there's the
homunculus.
chainers.
We saw that coming.
Homunculus goes. Kraken for 2, and I don't think Bobby cares.
Yeah, well, Derek can't block with the Ragers, so he might as well attack.
Yep. All right.
Back to Bobby. Does Bobby has a Galvanic Blast? I think this game might just be over unless Derek has a removal spell in combat here.
Prophetic Prism to draw. He must be digging for either a bolt or a Galv Blast.
Or another bone splitter.
Or another bone
I think
splitter.
that puts Derek still at 1, though, right? 1, 2,
Yep.
3, 4, 5, 6. Right. Gut shot? Gut shot
Oh
for the
man,
win?
that would be amazing. Just I do not see a copy of Gut Shot in main
So,
or side.
If Derek plays another swamp, you could flashback a Chainers. Or he could...
No. He's 1 away from Chainer's flashback. Even if he hits the swamp, he'll be at 6, and it's 7 to flash that back.
Derek tapping out for 5 here. And
Pimp
he's gonna
Abra.
scoop it up.
Yeah. The double splitter just got him there. That was fast. What? We are less than 10 minutes in, and
Yeah.
just
Yeah, well, we
Wow.
swung a little bit too hard the other way after the last round. Let's go over the sideboards. What could these players be bringing in?
How about you'll cover the cyborgs list. Okay, so if I'm the mono black player, I'm seeing another Crypt Rat, so that seems great in this situation. I'm seeing Death Denied. Maybe you bring that in just to give you a bit of inevitability. Wrenchmind seems really bad, and it's the thing I would want here. There is a 2-of copy of Snuff Out,
Snuff Out seems
and
alright.
Snuff Out seems fine here, even though you're against the aggro deck. It could be preventing more damage. Gutshot, yes, Pauper Fox. Gutshot would have been amazing to see. Just like the out of nowhere Gutshot for lethal. All right, so what does the Cyborgs player want here? Like,
So I can see a few cards I'd want. There are 2 Relic of Progenitus, which you could bring in against the Recursion or to fight Gurmag Anglers. There's 1 Leave No Trace, which might be good against the Oubliettes. And then there's 1 Guardian of the Guild Pact, and we discussed that card a little bit. It's probably pretty good here. It dodges all the targeted removal, and it looks like he has enough threats to sacrifice things to Edicts if things go there. So I'm thinking the Guardian, maybe the Leave No Trace, because I personally like removal. There's also 2 of Prismatic Strands, although I don't know if it's correct to bring in Prismatic Strands unless, is there a Corrupt in Derek's list?
I'm seeing no corrupt. I am seeing Tendrils of Corruption, and I think you don't want the you don't want to be ever spending 3 mana, holding up 3 mana in Cyborg, unless you're near lethal.
Right. Should we boost the audio up? People have been complaining about it being too low.
Oh, is it still too low?
Yeah, we're gonna try boosting the audio real fast. I'm not sure if it's us speaking too softly or if it's the noise gate, but we'll try boosting it and see if that works a little better. We really appreciate all the feedback. Hopefully next time we won't have so many technical
Yeah.
issues. But let us know if that sounds a little better.
Yeah, we've just bumped it up another bit. Let us know if that's good. Okay, so here's the thing. I think that Cyborg start was just so fast. It's not gonna be able to. How does Mono Black answer this? It doesn't.
It's
have,
not uncommon. All of these creatures are 1 and 2 drops. So
Yeah. I think you bring in Guardian of the Guild Pact because it's completely unblockable and
dodges all spot removal.
yeah, you just
That's big.
slap stuff on it and then bolts like. Echoing's totally gone too. Okay.
Awesome. So
okay.
it was just the such an easy fix.
Yep. All right. So, man, this is just all right. We're drawing hands here. I'm guessing Derek took the play. You don't want to give the Cyborgs deck any ground.
So Derek's going to probably look for a lot of his removal this game, just so that he can try and combat these low drop creatures.
So this MBC list, I'm looking at it. I'm only seeing 10 pieces of removal, or actually, there's Disfigure, which is pretty good. All right, so turn 1 Bone Splitter versus turn 1 Baron Moore.
Turn 1 Bone Splitter, not the greatest start, but still a good piece of equipment to get onto the field.
All right, 2 mana up. I'm not seeing any. He's got a Victim of Night, which will hit everything in the Cyborgs list. So, I would think so. So Pimp Abra, I think Mono Black control would be favored here. But then you just have plays like this where you're shooting up a body that doesn't matter.
Yeah, Thraben Inspector. So now Thraben Inspector is a 3/2, which is not irrelevant.
And you're trading like your.
Ooh, a Chittering Rat seems good, except that there is a clue in play.
Yep. The other thing is, how many? Oh, okay. So we're bolting that, making a path.
Getting in for 3 here.
All right, going to 17 and passing turn. I think we're going to see that clue cracked by the beginning of next turn.
I think it's going to be on Derek's instep.
Yeah,
unless maybe he has a bolt and he wants to bolt something else.
Yeah, I think he's keeping his options open. We do have Metalcraft, so Galv Blast is a consideration.
Yeah, it's a live card.
Yep.
And that's worse. Gal Blast is just shock, which is not irrelevant.
All right.
There's a Rager.
Rager.
Derek.
Yep. Trying to get into some answers here.
Do we have a Disfigure?
Do we?
I don't know. I don't know. Do we? The Dewey Decimal System.
I suppose 2 mana removal versus 1 mana creatures may not line up. Really depends on the removal suite. All right, so their removal suite is 3 copies of Disfigure, 4 Chainer's Edict, 2 Victimites, and 2 Oubliettes, and
looks like Bobby
pair of
cycled
tendrils of corruption.
Looks like Bobby cycled the clue end of turn, is now Galvanic Blasting, getting in for another 3 damage here, except it's being stopped by a Disfigure. So Derek can breathe a little sigh of relief here. Bobby has no more pressure currently, except now he's deploying Oriel Sun Chaser, which is a 3/3 and suiting it up. So a 5/3
it's a 5/3. Oh. All right. So we've got a trade on board. Like if he can deal with a Gurmag Angler, and he can also just fly over a Gurmag Angler.
I don't think you trade with Gurmag here. I think you just get in.
So he's...
And then a Chainers to follow it up.
Chainers, yep.
So Derek in the driver's seat this game, been able to answer these threats thus far, and now he's unearthing a Chittering Rats. I assume it's... Yeah. And,
yep.
And Bobby goes ahead and puts a card back on top.
Thank you, Akuda87.
And Alpha Groupie.
We've been having a good time.
So it looks like what is that? What is that creature? What did Bobby play?
That's the Guardian.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure. I can't really see it from here, I guess. We're a little far back from the screen.
Yeah, that's definitely the art for Guardian. All right. Here's the question. Does he have an Edict in hand? Because if he doesn't...
This looks like a Gurmag Angler.
It does. It looks like a Gurmag Angler.
Which doesn't do a whole lot here. He really needs to find that Edict in order to answer this Guardian.
All right. He's passing the turn. Cracking in for 4.
Oh, I guess the life total's got a little jacked up there. There's a Court Homunculus to eat an Edict, so... Derek
all right, so he's
spot.
Yeah, he's got that Edict protection. He's got a chump blocker. Man, this...
I would not block. That's Edict protection all the way.
Yeah.
Ooh, a Tendrils.
Tendrils of Corruption.
So at that point, would you have bolted your own?
I would have considered it.
Yeah, I would have considered bolting my own Court Homunculus to deny the life gain, perhaps, but...
It was only 4 life, but that is a whole turn. It was kind of a time walk there.
Swings for 4, sends it back Derek's way. It looks like he... Oh, there we go. Nope. We got another Court Homunculus from Bobby's side here.
just keeps drawing live cards that really matter in this matchup. Like, you want to keep presenting a wall of meat.
Here we go. Here it is. The removal spell followed up with the Edict.
All right, there we go.
Now Derek is firmly in control of this game. It's going to
and
be hard for Bobby to come back.
Is that the only copy of Guardian?
There's only one copy, correct.
Okay. So he doesn't have to worry about another Guardian showing up, which is good for him. Ardent Recruit, Equip, and we've got a 5/3 again.
I just don't think it's going to be enough, though. I think Derek has so much removal in his deck and can honestly just sit back here. He doesn't need to attack.
Well, he's also been missing land drops, so he's never flashing back those Edicts right now. Like,
never right now.
Never, not for a while. He's 3 consecutive land drops off of.
He's signing and blooding himself, digging for an answer here so he can close out this game. Does he draw
His opponent
it?
is at 6, though.
Well, that'll be enough if he gets rid of the Ardent Recruit.
Yeah, he's hoping to draw into removal here, and that's kind of his live angle here. Crypt Rats.
All right, well, that will certainly get the job done. Unfortunately, no. If there's a Galvanic Blast in Bobby's hand, this could be
All
ugly
right,
for Derek.
I think this is game actually here.
Yeah, he attacks first and then he pops Crypt Rats for the rest. Right?
Yeah. Actually, he can just pop Crypt Rats for 6.
No, but what if Bobby has a Galvanic Blast in hand?
Oh.
Also, we need to update
and generate
The
a
match law.
draw.
Looks like Derek's considering his play here. I think you just
He-
get in there.
I think you just bash with the rats and the angler. You just keep presenting pressure here.
Well, so here, Derek may have done away with that line because he played another spell. So now he can get in there for 3. This actually works.
Yeah,
he gets in there for 3 and then pops for another 3.
Okay. Now he's gonna put the. Okay.
Yeah,
There-
and that's
there-
it. We're
there's not
going-
the Gal Blast. All right. So
We're going to go to game 3 here.
we're finally getting a game 3 online. All right. So that was.
This is an exciting match. I'm glad we're watching.
Yeah.
It's very interactive, a lot of fun.
Well, you've got pretty evenly matched, like a very aggressive deck and a very controlling deck. And as we saw, depending on how the draws go, it can go either way.
Now, do you think this game is as simple as the coin toss? Do you think Bobby just got game 1 because he went first, or do you think that
Did
Derek
he go first?
Yeah, he went first game
Okay.
1. And and then that put Derek on the back foot the whole game. But that game, Derek went first, was able to resolve a chainers on the first thread, I believe, and was just able to just keep going from there.
I think who's going first does matter a lot in this matchup, as with many aggro decks against creature kill based control decks, and even blue control decks. You don't want them to get to 2 mana first, because that's kind of the magic number in this format. That's where good removal gets turned on. It's also where good counter spells start to show up. So this is just like, this is rough.
So players shuffling up here.
Yep, we're just trying to get in there.
I'm sure Bobby will want to be on the play this game. I can't imagine why you wouldn't want to be on the play.
Now, here's an interesting point.
I'm waiting.
Actually, no. Never mind.
It wasn't that interesting after all?
Wasn't that interesting after all? And I'm going to spare everyone me going down a Randy Buehlerin level of
let's go.
sidetrack.
We got like 5 seconds here. Go.
I was thinking about Pestilence and its interaction with Guardian of the Guild Pack, but I realized it's only beneficial if they're both on the same side, because if you're using Pestilence and your opponent has a Guardian of the Guild Pack, you're just wiping the board for them, and they're just beating you to death with the Guardian.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right, both our players drawing 7 here. Let's see if we want to resolve any mulligans.
I mean, is Bobby keeping a good aggressive 7 could be a problem for Derek.
Looks like Derek might be thinking about it a little. Do we know if Bobby's resolved his mulligan yet or not? Or he's decided not to?
He's still thinking.
Looks like Derek is waiting on him to decide. Yeah, and Bobby's going to go to 6.
Going back for 6. And
This list is not running Pestilence. Mike was just theory crafting.
Yeah, I was just going off down a terrible side avenue that wasn't interesting.
Nah, it was fine. It was cool.
Alrighty, so
Did Derek mulligan or did Derek keep 7?
I believe Derek kept 7, which probably indicates that there's a decent amount of removal in that hand, and that might be a problem for Bobby here.
Disfiguring a chainers would be a big problem for Bobby.
Now the question is it mostly edicts or is it targeted removal? Because if it's targeted removal,
It could be a mix of both.
yeah, ideally it's a mix of both, so you can deal with the smaller things and also deal with the
no,
Guardians.
Is Bobby really going to 5 here?
It looks like he is.
Oh no,
this might be a loss to mulligans.
Yeah.
He does get that scry though, which will help him out.
All right, let's see if he can scrape together a decent 5.
Now here, if you're sitting in Derek's spot, what are you hoping to have in your hand?
I don't know if I care anymore because Bobby is on 5. Like if I have 2 removal spells, I just don't think he can win anymore. Oh, you see, it looks like he might be thinking going to 4. Can you afford to go to 4?
He's thinking about it. Oh.
Well, it looks like he's seriously considering going to 4 here.
Because he doesn't get that scry until he decides to keep.
No,
I'm thinking this might be a no-lander.
Yeah, it looks like it. I think he's seriously considering it.
Oh, this is rough, man. Not like this. This is not a good way to determine game 3.
Variance, you old crone.
On the bright side, they did finish up their first few games early, so he does have a little bit of time to contemplate this.
Yeah, no rush
I
at
like.
all. The next round, I believe, is over in about. I think we still have 34 minutes in the round.
Yeah, last round went to time, so we did not get a chance to set up some sort of round timer.
He's keeping the 5. He's scrying.
He's keeping the 5, and he's passing. It was a no-lander.
Saying go. Wow, that's gotta hurt. Got a swamp. Cycling.
Cycle
Yeah,
Baron
why not?
more.
You don't need it.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Derek just gets to take forever doing whatever he wants. Oh, and here comes the Ardent Recruit with no artifacts on board.
Yeah, just a 1/1 Kumbaj, which is very good against this card. Kumbaya.
Kumbaya, which is
Disfigure.
Sure.
Yeah. It seems like Derek probably kept a very solid 7. Although
Ooh,
scrying the
2
land at the top
lands.
was good.
Quartermunculus.
That's a pair of 2/2s.
That's a pair of 2/2s. But if one of them dies, it goes down to a 1/1.
Right, but
And I
this,
can't help but think that Derek probably kept a hand with a lot of removal in it that's all live now.
well, that's very unfortunate. That's very good against Bobby's mulligans. Very good for Derek, very unfortunate for Bobby. He's just going to redraw one of the cards he already had in hand and can't really attack here.
Now here's the thing. What if...
Oh, he's going to get in.
He's getting in.
Maybe he has another artifact in hand. Right, they count each other, not Metalcraft.
They count each other. Oh, okay.
That's a 1/1, 2.
It's a 1/1.
1/1 flyer. Or does it have flying? Does it have
No, it
Metalcraft?
does not have flying,
All
I
right,
believe.
just a 2-mana 1/1. Gotcha. You think I would know the card?
Yeah, you used to play
So
it in Affinity.
if he plays a Crypt Rats here, then I think Bobby's just done.
Yeah, that might be
Crypt
the
Rats
good old scoop D.
There's a chittering, so not quite, but
That's
Bobby's
well-
held them with 2 1/1s, drawing the card again. I don't really know what it is, but
it's either a red card or it's a more than 2 drop, and
right.
frankly, like the most live draws here for Derek are getting more chittering rats. All right, so he's going to take 2. On the bright side, Derek does not have a fast clock here.
Right, that's one of NBC's biggest weaknesses. Actually, is not having a super fast clock. But and there's a Kumbaj, which is so.
All right, if that can survive a whole turn cycle.
And Galvanic Blast is totally dead against it.
Oubliette targeting the Quartermunculus. Interesting.
Well, it is
It is
farther
counting
away from the Auric Sun Chaser is not going to be a 3/3 anytime soon.
Yeah,
so.
it is a way for him to remove the artifacts from play because as we mentioned, Black doesn't have a way to deal with artifacts except if they're creatures.
So getting in for 2 here, I think this game might be all said and done though. Derek going to
Sign
draw
in
2 more
blood,
cards.
just dig in to make sure that he has answers for as much stuff as possible, and he's just going to go to town. Yeah,
Cycling
he's
Baron
cycling
Moore.
Baron Moors, just digging as much as possible to sculpt that hand into something that can answer any threat.
Unearthing a Chittering Rats. Ouch.
Yeah, I think that's the nail in the coffin.
Yeah. Whew.
Man, I'm sad it had to be this way.
I mean,
because
them's the breaks. It just
Yeah.
it just happens.
He's even keeping up the Kumbaj, which is in case he casts something.
There's an artifact
Oh.
and a red source. We might see a play here from Bobby.
I am hoping that he can get back into this game. If he can recover from this start,
Yeah,
oh
man,
man,
it's gonna be tough.
I don't think it's very likely, but man, I would love to watch that. Okay, and we're having Kumbaj, which is play the role of pinging back and forth.
Yeah, you might as well. If he plays another 1-drop, you want to go ahead and get rid of it. So,
All right, so whatever's in that hand is not red.
so he's going to get him. Not
do you think that last card is this Guardian? No. What is it? What is that last
if
card
you
in his
have
hand?
Guardian, would you just play it out here, knowing your opponent could have the Edict? I think you have to.
I think you have to because you can start blocking and eating stuff.
Yeah.
Mono Black has no way to pump the toughness of those creatures. Oh, there's the third Chittering Rats.
Yeah, that's gonna. Oof.
Oh.
Getting in for 4 here, so we got one. Bobby has 1 more turn to draw a relevant spell. Squadron Hawk. Okay, draws a Squadron Hawk.
Glint Hawk, sorry.
Yes, excuse me,
yeah.
Glint Hawk. Taps
And
he's bouncing and replaying his Ancient Den here is what's going on. And a
There's the
I
Disfigure.
think that's going to be the game here.
Well, here's the thing.
Galvanic Blast, okay.
Gal Blast that. And I think he's Hellbent.
Yeah. To the bitter end,
Yeah.
at least. There's the
Yep,
handshake. All
there's
right.
the handshake.
That's game 3 in the books.
Wonderful.
Let's take a quick break and see if we can get Derek over here. We have plenty of time for an interview.
You want to do the interview this time? You want to handle that?
Yeah, I got it.
All right. We're going to go on break for
Yeah, we're
a
gonna,
hot
I'm
second,
just
and then
gonna
we'll be back.
Grab that player. We're back. Don't be confused. I am not Mike, and this is not Adrian. I'm Adrian, and this is Derek, who's playing Mono Black Control last round. That was a pretty sweet match.
Yeah?
Very interactive. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you have not been playing this deck very long, right?
No, I've been playing this deck like maybe 3 weeks since I got into Pauper at all. Some
Yeah.
friends of mine.
Yeah.
Some friends of mine invited me. I gotta get up that close.
Yeah,
Some
it's-
friends of mine invited me to play Pauper with them, and I didn't have a deck, so they lent me theirs. And Mono Black was the most fun. So
And it's history from there, right?
yeah.
So what did you? So it's game 1 was obviously very hard for you because
Yeah.
because he just went like all these threats and you just didn't have the answers.
Yep, that's
so,
how it went.
So games 2 and 3, were you just thinking, I hope I can keep a Disfigure and an Edict?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know. I made a couple questionable plays game 1. I tried to develop a board when I could have removed some stuff, and I'm not sure if it would have gone any better because he had a lot of threats and a lot of card draw. But definitely for the next 2 games, I was working on making sure my edicts could hit the stuff that I couldn't deal with otherwise, and to
Right.
keep some targeted removal. I wish I'd kept the oubliette game 1 for the flyer, and so I was making plays like that in the next couple games to make sure I could deal with it.
So would you say the most important part of the matchup is knowing when to how to sequence your removal spells so that the removal matches the threat the best?
Exactly. You got to keep the targeted removal for the stuff that needs it. And against a deck like that, I'd never seen a deck like that before, so I didn't know what I was going to deal with. And a flyer with 2 Bone Splitters totally caught me off guard. So
What did you think when you saw Guardian of the Guild Pact?
which one's that again?
That's the two
Oh, the
three protection from monocolored.
monocolored?
Yeah.
That was really funny. I saw that and I was like, oh my god, that's a blowout. And then I remembered I do have Edict, so I was like
Right, which
digging
helps
through
you.
the top cards in the deck looking for an Edict.
Right.
Yeah. But without
Awesome.
that.
So now you're 2 and 1.
Yep, 2 and 1. It's going all right. I just gotta avoid the Drake and mystical teachings matchups. Those are really hard for Mono Black.
Right.
So,
Right.
Non-creature based, but I have high hopes for it. So.
Right. Well, good luck in the rest of the
All right,
tournament.
thanks.
Yep. Great talking to you.
Good talking to you too. Oh my gosh.
And we're back, and this time we're with Bobby, the pilot of the red-white Metalcraft deck. So what made you decide to play this deck for the tournament today?
Oh, I just like aggressive strategies. Just smash them, get it over with.
Awesome. So that game 3, real tough. Mulligan to 5, no land. What were your other 2 hands? We didn't really get a clear shot of them.
The first was a land with a Darksteel Citadel and no other colored sources.
Oh,
No way to get to
okay.
a colored source, so I couldn't really keep that hand. The second was the exact same. I think I had a Great Furnace. It was either Great Furnace or Darksteel. Either way, can't produce. enough colors, no other outlets in there. No, I run a springleaf drum and prismatic or prismatic
Yeah, yeah,
prism.
yeah. For Prism, yeah.
Yeah, to fixed colors, neither in the hand, so I couldn't keep that one. Had to go down, and that one had to be no lands. So
Yeah. Well,
and-
the deck is sweet. Traditionally, this is a mono white build. What made you decide to play red? Is Galvanic Blast just that strong?
yeah, Galvanic Blast and Lightning Bolt's pretty sweet. You can just
Yeah.
blow someone out from really high life totals. It can deal with just about any creature other than Garmag Angler.
Right.
Yeah, and Guardian of the Guild pack.
Yeah, and that-
happens to play that.
That's one of our favorite cards. Mike and I actually think that's one of the most underplayed cards in our format. It's just super sweet, but it costs 4 mana, right?
The card's great. My sideboard, I do have one Scarred Crag to up my mana count.
Oh, is that what that's for? Okay,
yeah,
'cause I was wondering what that was for.
Well, the mana source is really hard in the deck because I've got 8 red spells plus sideboard red
Right.
spells, and you only have, I think I have 11 red sources in the deck, so it's a little hard.
Right.
So having that literally helps alleviate that. Going up to 12 red sources is a big deal sometimes.
Well, your deck looked great. Good luck in the rest of the tournament.
All right,
Thanks so
very
much for talking with us, Bobby. We're going to take a quick break real fast, and we'll be back with round 4.
Hello, welcome back. We're in between rounds here. We're gonna start working on getting you 3-0 decks and players.
The first of which
So-
should be elves.
Yeah, we're gonna try and get elves on. There was some clamor earlier for us to feature an elves deck or two.
And we fortunately have a 3-0 player with elves, so
Yeah.
we'll be showcasing that off.
Somewhat unsurprisingly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm interested to see what it is. I don't know what other decks are 3-0, and we're still waiting on one match result before we
Right.
can tell you what the other deck is going to be. We're going to have to talk to players real quickly. Hopefully they're both into the idea of being broadcast.
Yeah, we just wanted to check in with you just so we didn't forget about you. It looks like we're maybe
Yeah.
making a move to maybe ending the turns and going into our next round here.
Yup. I think we've got... Yep, we've got one last game, I think, in
No, I think they're signing their cards. I think they're done.
All right. So we're going to be live again real soon here. We're just going to pull up chat here so that we can interact with y'all while we are on downtime. All right. Are there any other decks people want to see besides elves? I think we got a couple of Drake lists that are 3-0.
I think it's going to come down to 3-0s, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, like, if there's some lists we should watch out for that people might like to see covered, like to hear us talk about.
To commentate on, perhaps?
Yeah.
Perhaps.
But yeah, it's getting to be around lunchtime. I'm actually really hungry right
Oh
now,
my God,
but
Mike. That's what you get for not eating breakfast tacos.
I don't like breakfast tacos. Eggs are gross.
Guavildo, the player I talked to on that deck, said that they are also 3-0, so there's a chance we might see elves versus
Which one?
Delver. Yes, there are Delver decks.
Oh yeah, there were a couple of mono blue Delver dudes. Actually, is Kevin still 3-0 or? Oh, Aaron's 3-0 as well.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Stop talking about it on the stream, man.
Ooh. I know.
We might be showing that.
Yeah. I'd love to see Delver versus Elves. That's a
Delves.
no. No.
Yeah, it might be them. I'm not sure.
No.
I'm just saying it might be the two of them, yo.
Sorry for just getting real close up on the mic there, but we're just waiting for a couple of things to get wrapped up here so that we can.
Oh, maybe there's a
move
game.
on.
I thought they were done, but I guess not.
I don't know. We'll see what it is. Hopefully we will be
Yeah, it looks like
getting
there's
back
the-
to you
there's the
soon
slip.
with what our next match is going to be, but
Yeah, we will be back shortly with the next feature match.
Earth transition.
Hey guys, welcome back. We're getting into round 4 here, and we got a spicy one for you. Let's go ahead and get into the match here.
Yep. So we are gonna go see Jack Bellingrath against Andrew Webb. Andrew Webb is on Bant Drake, and Jack is on Elves.
So we got 2 extremely broken combo decks here. Now, Bant Drake is a little bit of an outlier. Andrew Webb is known locally for brewing and being a little bit off the beaten path. And the reason he likes Bant Drake so much is because it has the capability of just being a pure value deck. I tried to get him to go blue-red, but he's like, no, I like the white.
So what is the
green.
combo out here? I'm seeing capsize.
It's capsize lock.
Ooh. Can he get that online
I
early enough?
don't know. I don't know if he's ever play tested against Elves. Jack is a very accomplished Elves player. He's done very well with it here at F&M. So we'll just have to sort of see how it goes. But, Andrew doesn't have the practice or the reps, I would say, but he does know this deck very well. He's been practicing it on Moto, and he's practiced it against with me quite a few times.
All right, so Andrew is going back for 6. It looks like Jack is okay with his starting 7. That could be trouble. Elves combos out incredibly quickly.
Now, I've talked with Andrew at length about this deck, and the reason I think he likes it so much is because it plays Momentary Blank, which he describes as a way to just sort of get opponents, and it looks like it's been working out for him at 3-0.
Yeah, these are both people from our winners are basically on the way to the top 8 bracket. I don't know. I'm looking through all this, and
The Bant Drake deck.
yeah, it just seems to be value. Oh, it also has Mana War.
Yeah, he likes Mana War a lot.
I can't blame him. It's just like a very solid value creature.
Looks like Jack's on the play. We see a turn 1 Land of War Elves. Both these players are fairly accomplished and probably know their decks fairly well. So we should be seeing a pretty quick match here. Really, it's going to come down to, can Andrew stall enough for Jack to not get Elves online?
So he does have 1 snap and 1 counter spell, but the lack of real control here.
Does he have any fadeaways in his sideboard?
He has almost nothing that interacts here. He's got an Aven Rift Watcher, which will give him a bit of lice. Oh, he's got a pair of Moments pieces, which might help out in terms of the big turn for Elves. All right, so we're going Nettle Sentinel. All right, that's 1 combo piece. Birchlore Rangers.
No, yeah, Jack is just alive here, right?
Yep. Mystic, untap the Nettle Sentinel. Oh, he's just going to chain.
Oh, it's brutal.
He's just going to chain the mana
Oh,
elves
the
together.
humanity. And here we can see the power of Elves really on display. Jack has 1, 2, 3, 4 mana on turn 2, maybe more.
Yeah, technically, if he can go for the combo this turn.
And all Webb does is play the Chancery and bounce back the island. This is going to get ugly real fast for him.
All right, so here's the question. How quickly do we think Jack can resolve a distant melody and just go off?
He can do it here, can't he?
All right, so he's Elvish Visionary.
He tapped the Findhorn. Oh, I didn't see the Findhorn Elves there. He actually has 3 Mana Dorks.
He has 3 Mana Dorks, and he can tap any 2 elves as Mana Dorks.
There's an Essence Warden. That's going to make it tough for Andrew to combo off here. Especially since his deck is based around Flicker synergies. Yeah, this deck might just be too slow to beat Elves, and this is the real reason to play red, right? This is the reason Elves can, put the pressure on Drake so hard, and because they're so fast. But then Andrew also does not have Firebolt or anything of that nature.
There's the Quirion Ranger. That's going to be a...
Right. Now, Jack has not actually drawn his payoff cards yet, it doesn't look like. So maybe his last couple cards are Distant Melody and something else.
Do you think he needs a real payoff with... What is that?
It's a Mana War.
9 power on the board? Mana War?
Is that a Mana War? I think it was. It doesn't look like he bounced anything. Okay, he is bouncing something. It is a Mana War.
It looked like it was the Nettle Sentinel.
Yeah, that's what it looked
We've
like
got
to
a
me as
very
well.
sticky board state going on here. It is not going to be easy to tell what all these elves are.
The elves, well, we know they all tap for mana at this point because of the Birchlore Rangers.
Also, Guavildo, we will be having... We're going to get copies of a lot of these lists. We're definitely going to be publishing top 8 somewhere.
There's a Priest of Titania.
Priest, okay. Now is it time to just...
This,
are
this,
we just
this must
swinging
be
in?
Is this a swing in, or is this the Distant Melody? This is an attack.
Oh, yeah. That's an attack.
yeah,
It's going to
chump.
chew up the Visionary,
Now,
really?
I think this might be Andrew's inexperience with the format. He's primarily a legacy player, so he may not realize that that card no longer has any value.
I don't know, though. Like, isn't Quirion Ranger something that shows up in Legacy Elves? I feel like
Yes,
but
that's
the clear threat here.
But the Visionary is much more of an engine in the Legacy version of the Elves deck, where they can keep bouncing with Wirewood Symbiote and keep drawing cards off of
okay.
it. So that might be his thought process here. Goes back Jack's turn. Andrew currently is 3 mana up in an Evolving Wilds, it looks like. Yeah, once Jack just keeps getting in there. And it's basically build your own Empty the Warrens at this point, right? Make a bunch of mana, cast a bunch of 1/1s.
All right, so we're not quite lethal here, but is Jack running... Is Jack running Wirewood Pride? And I'm not seeing it.
I think that Jack prefers all creatures get +1/+1 spell.
Yes, he has a Magnify on
That's
the
it, Magnify.
board. So he cannot win on the spot here, but Andrew might be sweating that a little bit.
Yeah, Andrew
Only one blocker against
looks like
this.
still in Jack's attack step, considering what he wants to do. Trading with the Nettle Sentinel, it looks like, which is definitely the most damage here. And then, then he's flickering the Mana War, so he's soaking up the damage, and then bouncing...
Priest.
Right.
Okay. All right, so now we're getting into Value Town. I'm curious to see if he can recover from this, because he's currently at 6.
It's going to be very, very difficult.
And Jack just keeps gaining life. And is he hellbent?
I can't see his hand. It might be. Yeah, it looks like he was hellbent.
I'm actually looking over the play area and I see nothing. So I think he's hellbent.
Yeah, man, this is a nail biter for Webb.
If he can stabilize and start getting some sort of Archaeomancer flicker going on here, he might be able to win this.
Right, but he's facing down lethal here. There's just too many.
All right,
too many elves in
Jack
play.
reading Momentary Blink to figure
just
out
to see
exactly what
does.
that's doing.
And it's primarily just a value engine in this deck.
Yeah. All right.
Now, I want to say Andrew might have some fogs in his board. Like you said, Moments Piece, I believe.
Yes, I saw a Moment's Piece in the side.
Any riot controls that might be good here.
There's not much.
And I do see an Archaeomancer in Andrew's hand.
Does he go for it?
He has to go for.
He won't have the
here.
mana to cast any of the blinks though.
And
All right, we're scooping it up. We're scooping it up. He realized he can't possibly win that game.
Let's look at our boards. What do we have here?
All right, so I'm gonna look at the Bant list here. I'm seeing 2 Moments Piece. I think those come in. Nature's Claim doesn't really do much of anything. Relic of Progenitus does nothing. Muldrifter doesn't really close the gap in terms of the card draw for Distant Melody. Distant Melody is a sorcery, and I think it's the only. I think apart from Magnify, there aren't any instants in Jack's deck.
Andrew might not even know about the Magnify, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean it's a fringe sideboard card, and it only sees plain elves really.
Now, from Jack's angle, he has 2 Scattershot Archers. But to be honest with you, he probably doesn't know his opponent is on Drake.
I guess.
We didn't see any.
As soon as he
Drake
saw,
cards. All he's seen is Mana War and then a value spell.
once he saw the flicker, that might have given it away because it kind of almost looks like Bant Acid Trip at this point. So,
Yeah, Jack. Yeah, he might just not know what he's playing against here. But I could see him bringing in the Archers. He also has a Well-Wisher, 3 Magnifies, 2 Viridian Lombos, 3 Gleeful Sabotages, 2 Lumithread Fields, and 2 Tangles. I could honestly see him bringing in. I just don't know.
does he bring anything in?
The Magnify is maybe, but like, what is Andrew? I don't think he knows what. Like, what would Andrew do? Andrew really has nothing. In Bant, there's like really nothing that you would bring that in for.
Yeah, I don't see much that either of these people are going to bring in besides Andrew bringing in, the 2 Moments Pieces because that can fog 4 total turns.
Yeah, I think Andrew's definitely going to bring those in.
Because the thing about Moments Pieces, the best way to think about it is it's a fog that always draws you a second fog.
Right.
All right, so we're shuffling up here.
Yeah, looks like we're getting into our second game here.
And the question is, which of these decks combos faster?
It's got to be Elves. Andrew's deck is much slower.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons Elves has been seeing a bit of popularity online, more so than usual, is the combination of Elvish Vanguard, which allows them to go tall as well as wide, and the fact that it is just faster than Drake sometimes. And with the blue-red Drake, you're relying a lot on burn-based spells, which, have a hard time going wide. Like, it's easy to pinpoint and remove like key pieces, but you can't. You're never clearing the board
Well,
against elves.
with the Drake, we're talking about blue red Drake.
yeah,
You do have electricity,
you do have Electrickery, but like Lumithrid Field out of the board and Magnify.
and those are Jack's reasons for running this. I've discussed with him before. The card that he fears the most is electricity.
Yeah,
Because it goes in more decks. Evan Cars is dodgeable. Even Shrivel is dodgeable. I think that's actually why he's not running the Regenerate Every Creature spell. Let's get a quick announcement from Logan. Oh, there's pizza. I do like pizza.
yeah, I am getting real hungry here.
Getting real hangry. Well, this match might be over enough for you to go grab a quick bite while I maybe interview Webb and Jack here.
Yeah, I would definitely love to get a little bit of input from Webb on this really interesting Bant Drake list.
Yeah, I think
Nothing quite like it.
Yeah, just pure value combo out.
All right, so shuffling up again. It looks like Jack kept his first 7, and man.
Shudder, right? Just shudder.
If I'm in Web seat, I am sweating this because that means either he's got just a fast combo out, or he can just get a bunch of bodies on board and not worry about it. Like I feel the most important part of this deck right now is the Virtual Rangers, and what removal does Webb even have?
He doesn't have any.
Like there's not even spot removal here. There's bounce,
Right.
which I think.
Well, it's clearly been enough for him, but in this go wide type of strategy, then it just sort of crumbles. Like Mana War is great against like Carapace Forger, right?
I would like to point out something here also. There's a couple of elves in his list. In the
right.
Drake, in the Bant Drake list.
He's playing Coiling Oracle.
He's playing Coiling Oracle and Wood Elves. There are some of the Elves Matter cards that count elves.
Yes.
Not your elves.
Andrew scries the bottom, leaves off the Evolving Wilds, takes it to Jack. I guess he kept 6th in. Jack plays a Mystic.
Turn 1 Mana Dork, and
Webb goes and grabs an Island.
All right. Here's hoping we can get a good match out of this, because if this goes in Jack's favor, it's just gonna be over. It's gonna be so quick. All right. So we got the Coiling Oracle out. Oh, and it was
He hits a land drop off.
Yeah.
It looks like
man.
Virtual Rangers from Jack, tapping for another mana.
Yep.
Playing another Quirion Ranger. Okay. Taps again. Oh man.
Another Quirion Ranger.
Yeah. Just man. Brutal. Triple Quirion Ranger.
And the worst part is he can even untap stuff with that Quirion Ranger and recast the forest if he still has like gas in his hand.
That's what he's doing.
Oh man, this
An
is
extra 2 mana.
just. All right, so you'll notice he's flipped one of those Quirion Rangers in order to indicate that it has already used its abilities.
Yeah,
That
draws
is
a
a
card.
once per turn.
Wow. Just Jack. Both games here. Just elves the.
This is why this deck is 3-0 today. It is just so fast in terms of combo decks.
And, we spoke about this before on the cast. The lack of a really decent board wipe makes this strategy very, very attractive.
Yep.
And so in the pre-Drake meta, I think this deck was mostly kept in check by Mono Black Control. Would you agree with that? Because Elves was a good deck, but it wasn't doing this, right?
it was always kind of like tier 1.5, and now it feels like a little more solidly tier 1. Part of that is the Elvish Vanguard. Vanguard does give you a very good like resistance to board wipes, because if you land one of those early and then you combo into like a bunch of more elves, if you're left with an 8/8, like all the board wipes in the world won't save
and
ya.
it's a distant melody. Does Webb have a counterspell of some sort? Oh, and Webb reminds Jack that he has to count his elves as well. No, it's elves he controls from distant melody. It's the rest for the other ones. So Priest of Titania would add 2 more mana.
We got some weird edge case scenarios here where some of these count.
There's Vanguard. Ugh.
All right, is this the turn?
Well, now Webb doesn't have any green mana up right now, but he has a turn to wait and draw his.
Another Vanguard. Trigger the first Vanguard.
Webb has a turn to wait to try and draw into one of his fogs.
All right, so there's a Scattershot Archers. I think. Do you think he blind called it, or do you think there was table talk indicating that he's playing Drake?
Probably both.
Yeah. All right, and we're birch luring in
And
stuff.
I would also like to point out that I did give Jack those full scattershot arches. Nice to see a little piece of me on the screen here.
All right, we're now at a state where he can. Okay, he's got 3 Nettle Sentinels.
Yeah, it's just infinite mana,
He
right?
can keep casting stuff off of those, and as long as it costs 1 mana, he's just looping. This is ridiculous.
Well,
He's
like I said, Webb has a turn to start drawing into his
the catch is he needs a fog and then removal spell. And which of those does he have? He has 1 fog. If 4 fogs could
Well,
save him,
he hasn't thrown in the towel. Right? Like he hasn't thrown in the towel yet. He might still be able to get.
okay, he's
Okay, he's got
ghostly
Ghostly
flickering
Flicker.
those 2.
Yeah, digging a little deeper. I like this.
All right, so they're gonna come back in.
Trigger the first one, Seagate Oracle. Trigger the second one, Mana War.
Does Elvish Vanguard proc off other people's elves, or is it just your control?
It's gonna proc off of his elves as well. It does not. It looks like the players may have missed that, but it does proc.
That may be a miss trigger.
But it does proc off of your opponent's elves.
It
It's one,
does,
it's one
okay.
of the it's one of the old worded ones, because its original printing is like what, Scourge or something.
I want to say it's Legions, but
Yeah,
I could be
it's
wrong.
one of the. It's an older set
All right,
where
Seagate
both sides still
Oracle. So we're
matter.
gonna dig a little bit. Oh, he does have a moment's piece in hand. I can see the art.
He doesn't have another forest though, and it looks like his only green source is tapped.
So is he digging for another forest here? I can't.
In
I can't,
that case,
I
why
can't
would
believe-
Why would he have tapped the green source?
He,
just
he
should-
might have a green source in
Yeah,
hand.
he probably does. That's the only way it makes sense to tap the green
This
source.
is just.
Yep, there's a forest.
Yep. Okay, there we go.
And
So
ships the turn.
He can stay alive for 2 more turns.
That-
There's
I mean-
nothing in Jack's deck that'll let him push through that damage.
Now look, if he can get the capsize lock, he'll win. Right?
But he's
Elves
gonna
can't.
he's gonna need an Archaeomancer, and actually,
He's
how much
got a
mana is he
little-
at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If he gets the 7th, if he hits a mana next turn
Yeah,
and he goes Peregrine Drake into Archaeomancer and Ghostly Flicker, he can go infinite.
Yeah, and then he'll have to bounce the.
Okay, so
Jack will gain a lot of life.
He got the
from
moment's piece. He has 1 more turn of safety with that.
Jack will gain a lot of life from the Essence Warden because of the flickering effects, but Webb just has to build up enough count to get the lock going, and then he should be fine.
Well, I think the thing is, you get the count up to 6 with some untapped lands, and then you capsize the Essence Warden.
He's
so that
evoking
way,
Mole Drifter with the evoke trigger second, so he's going to draw his cards first. Mole
Okay.
Drifter goes to the yard.
okay,
Land for turn. Perhaps pondering or preordaining here. Yeah, it's a preordain.
preordain.
Just
All right, so he's passing the turn with that fog up. So he's basically demanding that he's forcing the attack, so that way he'll use up the fog.
interesting to note, Jack does not have his Nettle Sentinels on tap quite yet.
All right, Findhorn, they all untap.
Not your BF, that is true. It was pointed out in chat that if he plays Compulsive Research, he can deck out his opponent if he gets the Drake loop. So that is
that's true.
He doesn't have to quite get the capsize lock. He could also do that.
Does he? I'm actually not seeing a single copy of Compulsive.
Are you serious?
No, there's no Compulsive. Brainstorm can't target. Preordain can't target.
We can confirm there is no Compulsive Research in the list. So
yeah,
that is
no,
not an
no.
option for him.
His out is answer Essence Warden, or he just scoops. Because if he goes infinite and draws his full deck, he has 1 turn to figure that out.
Tapping, is this a Drake? Yeah, it's a Drake.
All right, here we go.
Step 1 complete. Tapping for 2. Mana War, bouncing a Vanguard.
Yes, bouncing a Vanguard. There's no deep analysis either. There is no targeted draw on that deck. There is.
Andrew definitely wins on his own terms. And his term is capsize lock.
All right, so here's the question. Does he... Oh, he can't. He doesn't have the Archaeomancer. There's nothing he can do here to...
Jack
I'm
is
not
dealing
sure.
1 damage to each.
Flyer, untapping,
Oh,
tapping it,
right. Oh, man.
untapped.
Now, does Andrew have a flicker effect in hand? No, he does not. Oh, that's brutal.
I think this is game unless we've got a... Oh, and that was end of turn as well.
Ah,
So he gets to untap and do whatever he wants. I think this is game. I don't think there's
Andrew
coming
has,
back from
Andrew
this.
has land, and I think land. I can't see totally, but I think it's land.
Okay, we're triggering up those. He can start chumping. There are no Timberwatch elves on the board, which does mean Jack doesn't have the option of pumping around it. He just has the option of bashing in with a, God, what is it now, an 8/8?
Well, Andrew's not conceding, so clearly he thinks he has a way out of this.
He might have a value flicker here of some sort. Is there a momentary blink in the bin?
If he had the momentary blink in the bin, I think he would have saved his Drake.
That's true. Because then you net more open mana and you can do more shenanigans.
But the fact that he didn't have a follow-up to his Drake is pretty bad, though.
Yeah.
So Andrew going down to a precarious 3-2. Oh, I don't think it's -2. Okay, he's at 2 life. So
He's
he
at
has
2.
one more turn to try and draw an out here, but just that Scattershot Archer is really pulling its weight here. Draws a
Scattershot
card.
Archer's
It's
with
the
the-
capsize. He drew the capsize.
Did he?
Just too late though. He has a flicker in hand too, so just a Drake short of getting this done.
Does he have a Drake in there though?
No, I think
He
he's
doesn't?
I think he's a Drake short of getting this done.
All right.
There's the
Okay.
hand.
There's the hand.
All right, so Jack will
Excellent.
take this 2-0. We have Elves as the winner of round 4 here.
All right.
We're back to the booth.
And we're gonna try and get Jack over here, talk
would-
a little bit, and then maybe getting Webb over here.
Yeah,
and
I'd like to get Webb over here as well. That was brutal.
I'm gonna leave the booth for a second.
Yeah,
talk
we're
to
gonna
them
we're gonna go to a quick
and-
break, and we'll be back hopefully with an interview for you all. See you guys in a few seconds.
All right, I am back here with Jack Bellengrath, who is playing Elves today, and you are now 4-0.
Yeah, 4-0.
So you are kind of a local combo player. You definitely have a preference. In Legacy, you've played like Belcher, you've played Storm. You definitely have like a style of deck you enjoy. How have you felt all today? I haven't been able to watch any other matchups. Has it just felt like really, really good, like a really solid 3-0?
Well, most of the games were pretty much me destroying the other person. I had one close game against Mono Black, which is, if any of you know, for elves, that is generally a really hard matchup. Kambaju, which is really strong.
Ah, okay. So, but apart from that, you've been feeling really positive about most of your matchups so far?
Most matchups really good.
So what, other than Mono Black control, what do you really not want to go up against in this tournament? Because you've got 2 more rounds to see if you can top 8.
Well,
Like, what's the 2 decks that you could see in the next 2 rounds that would just crush your day?
I would definitely not want to play against Teachings because
Okay.
I know that Teachings can have some really good board wipes.
Yeah. And, like, what's your ideal? Is it just another 2 rounds worth of Drake stuff? How's your matchup on that front?
The matchup against Drake is okay. It's not. It's probably close to 50-50.
Okay.
I would love to play against Mono Blue some more because the Mono Blue matchup is really good.
Okay. So just the Delver, just not enough tempo to kind of negate what you're doing?
Yeah.
All right. That's all good, but best of luck to you. Like, you've put up some really impressive results. Have you dropped any games today?
I dropped 1 to Mono Black. That's it.
Wow. All right. So maybe you can go for the almost perfect across the board. Like, if you only drop 1 game today, that's pretty impressive. So glad to have someone here. People have been clamoring to see elves for like the past 2 hours. So I'm glad that we could have someone who really knows the deck inside and out play it on stream for us. Thanks for coming by. We're going to go back to a quick little break, and Adrian's going to be back to interview Andrew Webb, the other half of that matchup you just saw.
And we're back here with Andrew Webb, the player of the. Hold on. Yeah. There you go. So you were playing the Bant Drake deck. So tell us a little bit about it. There's definitely nothing. None of the other Drake decks are like that. What made you decide to go Bant?
Yeah, I mean, so I admittedly, like, I didn't really try out the blue-red version very much because I started trying to build the blue-green when they first spoiled Drake as a common. And so when I started out, I tried kind of building it like the old Fairies deck with Utopia Sprawl and Fertile Ground. It's just trying to accelerate the combo. But I felt like that deck was like way too all in on the combo. Like a lightning bolt would just like disrupt me, and then I just did nothing but play a bunch of enchant lands. So I actually just felt like I wanted to build a version that would grind really well. And so I just played a pile of come into play effects with Ghostly Flickers and Momentary Blinks. And so the Momentary Blink is kind of like my surprise card. Sometimes people think they can interact with the combo because I've got 2 mana left with the Drake trigger on the stack, but you can just blink in response. And so that's kind of like the motivation. And you get some like really nice utility from green and blue. I mean, I think Coiling Oracle is like a really underrated card. So it gives me mana ramping frequently, and I'm playing the 4 Preordains as my main cantrip, but also I switched to, initially I was playing Ponder because like Brainstorm's kind of mediocre in Pauper, but I was realizing with the Coiling Oracle and Evolving Wilds in my deck, the Brainstorms are pretty sweet, so like frequently I can ramp off the Coiling Oracle. So yeah, I mean, blue-red might be better. I actually was worried that blue-red was my worst matchup, but I did test it a little bit, and I have a lot more combo pieces than them. And
You're just a little faster.
Yeah, and so I'm faster. I can mana ramp. I have more combo pieces, and I actually just have like kind of more card draw. So like they're trading lightning bolts for cards that just like draw me 2 cards, then that's fine. So I can kind of grind pretty effectively, and they're usually trying to play control, and I'm really the combo deck in the matchup. If they have the combo, I can't interact with it very well. I have a few ways to interact. Sometimes like ways that are surprising, like they with the untap trigger on this or with the momentary blink on the stack, I can like bounce the Drake, buy myself a turn, and be able to combo up that way. But
That's pretty sweet. So you're doing really well. It seemed like maybe the elves matchup, like we talked about it a little earlier, the Virtual Rangers is really the problem card for you. I don't think there's a lot of other elves out there, so I think you might be set to go for the top 8 here.
Yeah, I mean, I need to win one more round. I actually, it's funny. I was telling you earlier, I've tested the elves matchup a decent amount because like my friend that I work with, that's the deck he has built in Pauper,
Yeah.
and so I've played it a bunch. And when they have Virtual Rangers, their hands just like so explosive. But when he doesn't, like usually I can get to turn 5 and they can't really interact. I mean, granted, he can scatter shot Archer 3 times. That's something that doesn't come up very often.
Right. And then the very next turn, it looked like that you had the flicker and the capsize in hand, right? So you
Yeah.
were maybe just one piece away from.
Well,
comboing.
yeah, and admittedly in game 2 I made a pretty dumb mistake. I didn't really count the creatures in play. I was just trying to like get enough blockers out, and that's the reason I played out the Drake. But I technically that was a bad play because I didn't need the Drake in order to survive. And he could kill the Drake on my instep, so it was really bad to play the Drake because if I had drawn Wall or Archaeomancer off the top on my next turn, I actually could have won the game.
Yeah.
So that was a little bit of a punt. Ended up not mattering, but it was definitely a mistake. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for your doing, and good luck in the rest of the tournament.
Thanks.
Yep.
All right, I'm Michael Petrick, and this is still not Adrian Gonzalez. This is Jake Manella, who we saw round 2.
Yeah.
We've tried to make sure we get all the winners at least in here, and we did not have time because you guys went to time.
Yeah, and it seems like I'm going to go to time a lot.
So you're playing Esper Tortured Existence.
That is correct,
A list that people were absolutely loving on the Twitch chat, and hating because people don't like watching grind.
Well,
I enjoyed it.
it's a lot of fun to grind, so I mean.
How did you feel about that match in particular?
Well, so I felt like fine. It was just like my opponent was a little inexperienced. He said he took a 6-year-long break before playing Magic again. So I mean, there's that. I don't honestly know how Mono Black is as a matchup. It seems like pretty 50-50, honestly.
It honestly seems as long as you can get that Tortex online, it seemed pretty good for you because you can just keep looping stuff.
Yeah, I mean, well, round 1 actually I lost the Tort to Mono Black even though I had the Torture Existence. It's just like, if you don't, I just didn't have, I mean, game 2 he double crypt wrecked me, so that wasn't fun. And it's just like, if you don't get the right pieces of your engine, it's kind of hard, but then again, it's just,
So be honest with me here for a second. The game 2, were you actually actively trying to play to win, or were you just playing to the draw?
I was not playing the draw. I was trying to win that game. It just so happened that we went to time. Like,
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Okay.
Time was not a factor in my head. Oh, okay.
We're getting a slight bit of echo, and it's just we keep going back and forth. So has the rest of your day been going pretty well for you? What's your record right now?
Right now I'm 2-2.
Okay.
So the problem with this deck is like it can have a lot of trouble against like very aggressive decks. And I played against Stompy, and I didn't have enough time to set up the like.
And it just usually takes a little while to get going, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, I have the tools to deal with like what they're doing. Like I play Fume Spitter and stuff like that. It's just I didn't really see them, and I lost because of it. Really, I mean.
All right. So I guess the big thing is, what made you pick Esper Tortex as your brew for this?
Well, it was a recent like idea. I actually got the idea from your podcast, your Mardu.
Yeah.
And I just felt like Esper was like a better way of going it, because first of all, Mole Drifter is just insane, and it's like I could just like doing all the little tricks with Angelic Renewal and Mole Drifter and all that.
Angelic Renewal seemed really strong in that matchup, just because the Oromancer loop does give you a bear that blocks forever, and it lines up really well against a deck that's mostly Gray Ogres with upside.
Yeah. It's just like it helps you be really resistant to edict effects, which is really nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, the reason why I chose this deck is just like it's probably one of my favorite brews I've ever come up with. Like it's just a lot of fun to play, and like it just feels really good when you're just pumping out value.
Yeah. So every match you've won, you've gone to time. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes.
Yeah, I had a feeling. What are your hopes for the last couple rounds here?
I mean, it's just like play well, have fun. I'm not super like trying to win. It's just like if I win, yeah, that's great. But if not, I got my feature match, and that's all that really mattered to me.
Are there any adjustments you're going to be making to the deck after today? Were there any cards that have underperformed for you that you thought would have done a little bit better?
No, not really. Like Fume Spitter, it's like it's okay a lot of the time, but I'm gonna still keep it in there because it's just in the matchups that it's good, it's really good.
And then maybe that one gets moved to sideboard and something else gets put main board.
Maybe.
All right. Well, if we wind up doing another one of these, I hope you show up with another brew, because you are kind of the go-to guy here in town.
Yeah.
Where I don't think I've ever. I think you played Blue Red Drake for like a week.
It was 2 weeks, and then
that's the
switched,
only time I've ever seen you play like a quote-unquote tiered deck.
I try to stay away from tiers. It's just I like.
All right, well, best of luck. I mean, if you can get to a 4-2, there's a chance that if your tiebreakers are good, you might top 8. But
Yeah, okay.
Best of luck to you. Hopefully the rest of your matches go well, and thanks for sitting down and doing an interview with us. We're sorry it took so long to get to you.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you, Sam Squatch.
All right, we're gonna be going back to break. I need to rehydrate. I need to get some food in my body, and we need to hopefully try and fix that echo for y'all. Alrighty, we're back here. We're about to bring you round 4. We decided to go with some 3-1s this time because there was talk of the pair of 4-0s that were playing each other splitting. So
Yeah, they can draw into the top 8 at this point. So.
yes, 4-1-1 is enough to get in.
Let me know if the echo is fixed. We put a blanket over the safe, so I'm hoping that it's at least. Oops, gone down a little.
What did you drop?
I dropped Twitch chat. It's cool.
All right. So we will bring you a matchup. It's going to be Aaron Rubin on Mono Blue Delver and Lance English on Mono Green Stompy.
So yeah, we got 2 meta decks here, 2 tier decks. We're about to transition over.
All right, and here we are at the playfield. Aaron Rubin is kind of a mainstay of our FNM scene. We both know him. Good guy.
Studio mode.
What?
Studio mode.
Oh yeah.
Do I just click it?
We're happy to have someone who just knows Delver inside and out to kind of showcase one of these heavily played meta decks.
Oh, they still hear the echo. I'm gonna go like way over here. I'm gonna try and get as far away from Mike as possible. Let me know if that's better.
We're also gonna angle the mics away from one another.
Yeah.
All right. So these are both like staples of the metagame, as always. Not really sure who won the die roll, but we'll figure that one out pretty quickly.
Yeah, so this is a very I would say a classic sort of matchup between 2 of the premier. I would say between 2 of the premier aggro decks in the format. I know Delver's a little bit more aggro control, but I think you can still consider it an aggro deck.
All right, looks like Aaron's going back for a 6-card hand.
Yeah.
And it looks like Lance might be keeping that 7, which probably means he's got some fast, aggressive start going on there. I can't imagine if they're going in blind and neither of them knows what the other's on, I would imagine you'd want to keep the most aggressive hand possible.
Yeah, so basically the game plan from both of these decks, from Stompy's perspective, it's going to be to resolve threats and then bash in with them and then protect them with pump spells or try and get a win off of those. From Delver's perspective, it's going to be a stick a threat and then try and deal with Stompy's threats, which isn't going to be as good as it might seem. Aaron, of course, has access to cards like Vapor Snag and 2 Vapor Snags, and just sort of has to hope to race in the air while Stompy races on the ground. And of course, he does have his counterspell suite to help back him up.
Now let's see if this 6 is more to his liking.
Looks like he's taking a scrying under the top. Looks like it's a keep, and here we are.
And
I believe Lance is on the play. Okay, Aaron's on the play. Leaves out the Fairy Miscreant.
Turn 1 Fairy Miscreant, and there's a lot of gorgeous foils in this deck.
Yeah, Aaron is the other person in our LGS who's looking to foil out his deck. Now, we could see a Daze here. I know Aaron likes to play them. Is it enough?
All right.
Nope.
Yep, Young Wolf.
Getting in for 1.
Bash it in for 1.
No 2 lands out, so no ninjutsu off of Aaron here. Looks like he might be a little bit crimped on mana, and he will resolve another Miscreant.
Yep. Probably trying to make that land drop for turn. Real important in this scenario, I'd say.
Now, it looks like Lance is considering. Okay, he has to read the card real fast. I was like, he's considering a response. I don't think he has. He could gut shot.
Main deck gut shot seems
back
quite strange.
That's it. No, that's it. That's what happened.
Okay. I'm intrigued. I'm
right.
intrigued.
Adrian calling the gut shots.
Calling the gut shots.
That's spicy.
I'm not seeing. Was that a gut shot?
What else was it? It was a free mana. It was a free red spell that he just used.
He forgot to judge. What happens if a player forgets the D sideboard?
Uh-oh. We may have a case of D sideboarding.
We may have a slight issue here.
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to be real
Sorry,
awkward.
Ridiculous Donnie. We're really trying. It looks like... All right, so we just got the judge called over. The opponent, the Stompy player played a gut shot, but there are no gut shots in his main board.
Yeah, we've got an issue here where the gut shot that was just cast may have actually been looks like it was sideboard, and it looks like there was a lack of de-sideboarding, which I don't know how the judge is going to assess that. We'll ask when he comes back over here, and we'll try and figure out what's going on.
But, you know, it's the next turn has gone by. I'm not really sure what's going to happen.
Yeah, and this is the kind of thing where we're only going to notice it on these feature matches, so bear with us while this gets resolved in terms of what this is going to mean for the match. I don't know.
It is a Gargan Pit Skulk. Is it enough for a game loss?
Oh, okay.
We're trying to figure out what's exactly is going to happen here.
All right, we're having some interesting stuff. We're gonna try and
That's because I'm an affinity player, Dr. Fruit Salad.
All right, so we're trying to figure out what exactly is going on here. Hopefully the judge will cue us in as to what happened, and we can talk through what penalties are being assessed and what exactly went on here. All right, we've got the judge coming back over. So what exactly happened? All right, so the Stompy player got a game loss? All right, judge just came over and told us that the Stompy player got a game loss
It's only we can watch
for...
every match, right?
Yeah, a game loss for failure to D-sideboard. We're just going to update the match record here, and we should be getting into...
That's ref.
Yeah, that was... That's not exactly what
But
we're...
that would have been a stellar play otherwise. Like,
yes,
that would have been...
I thought main deck gut shot was a little out there.
I'm sure it was an accident.
Yeah.
It happens.
It's just, game loss. Someone in the chat is saying that that game loss is correct by Magic ruling.
Okay. Dear Jojo, I wonder if he likes the same anime you like, Mike. Or, excuse me, they. I do not know if you are a he or a she, dear Jojo.
All right, so I think we're going directly to sideboards, and they now know what the other one's on.
Correct.
So it's interesting. We're going to have to see what's going on. Yeah, people in chat are saying.
Yep, thanks for the tip. Need to know. We'll do that next time.
Yeah, we can we can snap back here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the game loss is correct there, but shame we had to find out like that.
But here we are going into a game 2. Waiting for our players to shuffle. Looks like Lance is still deciding what he wants to sideboard. I wasn't watching.
All right. We're coming back. We're going to hopefully have a good game 2 here. Thankfully, sideboards are now in play, so any issues we had before are gone. Here, let me just run it over. All right, sorry. We're just handling some technical behind-the-scenes things here.
I got to plug in my phone, basically.
Yeah, we had to plug in phones, make sure that we're staying charged, because we have been here for, oh goodness, almost 6 hours.
I need to know the turnout for the tournament is about 35 people. We're going to be playing 6 rounds in a top 8. Or hopefully a top 8, I should say.
Yeah, there's a couple of players who are already pretty close to top 8 who have said they do not want to split, so we will probably be showing you footage of the top 8.
I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea.
We don't know what the price. I think it's right there on the wall. I'm not sure what they each get though.
Yeah, just look at the pool and divide by 8.
All right, so looks like we got a game. Lance will be on the play, I'm certain.
All right, folks. In the chat, I do not speak German. We do have someone here who does, but I'd prefer not to need a translator.
He's not,
I love
he's not
y'all.
He's not talking to you.
I know. I'm just very confused in this situation. All right.
Oh my God, Mike, please. Mike pulls.
All right, so we're shuffling up, and we're gonna see what's going on here. Game 2, Delver versus Stompy.
Looks like Aaron maybe went to 6 here.
Yep, it looking like he's going down to 6. I know it's just a super suspect looking shuffle.
Yeah.
All right, so Aaron going down to 6, and we've got the Scry, so he's keeping that, leaving it on top. All right, green mana into Llanowar Sentinel, or Nettle Sentinel, sorry.
Yeah, turn 1 Nettle Sentinel followed by turn 1 Delver.
Yep, all right, we're both getting off to a good aggro start here, and it's going to be up to whether that Delver blind flips.
Get in for 2 from the Stompy deck, going down to 18.
Yeah, I'm not seeing Aaron running.
Oh yeah, did he scry to the top?
He scried to the top, but he drew that card.
Oh, that's
because
true.
he's on the draw, not the play. Ooh, 2.
Looks like we have a young
Ooh,
wolf.
okay, we did not get the Delver flip, and that
Yeah,
might
but-
be huge in this game
Yeah,
because
looks
it means that.
looks like Aaron might just be down.
Yeah.
Plays a
Oh.
coral net. Pretty spicy.
That is enchant target green or white creature, and at the beginning of the upkeep, you have to discard a card or sacrifice it. I
Right, you
believe.
have to discard a card or sacrifice the creature.
Wow, that seems pretty decent here. All right, all right. What do we got here? All right, he's just giving it up. It's not.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Not
One for one
worth.
is fine.
Not worth the hassle. All right, thinking through his moves here.
Yeah, just get
All
in
right.
with both. Why not?
Swing in for 3.
Young wolf will become a 2/2 if he blocks.
All right, so Aaron's going down to 15. Land for turn. And Quirion Ranger. So we're having some shenanigans here. All right, and Nest Invader. I'm going to get a 0/1 spawn token.
Trigger the Delver. Delver's going to go ahead and flip here.
Yep.
Giving Aaron a 3/2 flyer.
Though he still does not have quite the same board presence, and that still he seems to kind of be on the back leg.
He's going to go ahead and cast that Preordained, scrying 2. Second where he wants them both on the bottom. That's not very good. Takes his blind draw.
Alrighty.
Then getting in for 3. Yeah, no, you don't need to keep Delver as a blocker.
Though I have to wonder if he can actually win this race here.
Not currently, but I assume that he has something maybe in hand that will help him.
Well, let's look at what his two mana tricks are. He's got spell stutters. He's got.
Well, he only is only one mana
snaps.
up right now.
He only has 1 up.
Yeah, he
Ugh.
tapped for the
He
preordained.
could have a vapor snag. He could be hoping to catch his opponent in a trap where he's already used, for example, a pump spell, and just kind of trying to get that little bit of tempo
maybe
there.
blank a pump spell.
Yeah.
Lance
All
will be
right,
for the red zone
swinging in with the team, which almost. I'm
4, 5, 6 damage. This must prompt a response from Aaron. It looks like.
It could. So we've got some options here. It could be. He hasn't played land for turns. So it's unlikely that it's groundswell. It might be.
Yeah, he's just
okay.
gonna take it.
Just gonna take it.
might have a
We're gonna
quick
have to
1/1
see.
here.
We're gonna have to see what happens
pit stall.
here.
Ooh.
Aerial volley to
The
wipe
old
the
2
board.
for 1 aerial volley.
Untapping Nettle Sentinel as well.
Very
Ooh,
nice.
that
Very nice play.
that might be good night
Nice
here.
hits here. Yeah, that might just be the end of the game, leaving him with a board and Lance with no board. Lance untaps his 2/2 and passes the turn, leaving Aaron to pass the turn again. Yeah, I don't think Aaron's going to be winning this game. It looks like
yeah.
Lance is pretty far ahead here.
I think this is a pump spell away from just being lethal.
Yeah, even without
No
a
pump.
Even without a pump spell. Well,
Um,
Aaron's representing counterspell. There's no point in pumping into that.
Yeah. All right, well, he's got lethal on board. Unless Aaron can do something here. Yeah. End step. Are we going to do anything? Are we flashing a spell stutter sprite? I think we are. Oh, snap.
Snapping the Sentinel.
Snapping the Sentinel. Do we have any other end of turn tricks? Is this a Vapor Snag?
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. Yes,
Yes,
it's
it
Vapor
is.
Snag.
It is.
Snagging the.
Oh, he's trying to figure this one out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think bouncing the 2/2 is probably correct.
Snapping 2 power over, snapping 1 seems, or bouncing 2 power over 1 seems good.
And draws for the turn. Is he going to resolve a creature here? No, he plays Preordain, digging a little deeper into his deck.
Yep, just trying to dig to some sort of threat or some sort of chump blocker or just anything at this point. He just really needs to get up and out of here. All right, so
Back over to
any
Lance.
pump spell here is lethal, although still representing counterspell. Maybe just trying to get that one last turn out of this.
I think at this point we go for the pump spell. You have 4 mana.
You have 4 mana. That's
Aaron only has.
There's so many things you could do with that 4.
I think ideally you would go for it after, like in blockers, so that Aaron cannot block as well. But no.
All right, no
need.
no
I
pump
guess no need to
spells.
rush.
He could have also boarded in his 1 copy of Dispel.
What if this was gut shot? Gut shot for lethal.
I mean that is the play of champions. And what is that last one there?
I think it's River Boa.
Oh, River Boa. Yep.
And that's enough for Aaron
that
to
prompts
scoop
the
it up
scoop.
here.
Yep. All right, so we are going on to game 3 here. All right, so we are all tied up here at 1-1, and we're going to see how this third game goes. Oh no, there were a couple people who actually said that that's the correct call. So I don't know the. I not a judge. So all right. It doesn't look like anyone changed up their boarding. It looks.
I don't think there's a reason to. Either you're gonna get it or you're not.
I mean, these both look like fairly stock lists, to be totally honest. Although the Prodigal Sorcerer in Aaron Rubin's sideboard seems really interesting. He has a 2 of Prodigal Sorcerer and Delver.
And he does play that against the green matchups, like Stomping, particularly Elves, which are incredibly bad matchups for Delver because they really don't have any removal for those 1 toughness creatures.
Yeah, it's just kind of an interesting one that we don't see that much. I'm kind of surprised that's not Thornwind Fairies, though.
All right, players are shaking. Going to be a good game.
Oh.
He drew. Oh, going to call another judge over.
I believe that this. We're cutting away for a
Yeah,
hot
I think
second.
he's still going to draw the card. That was his top card, right? So.
I mean, it could just be a case that they shuffle up again.
Yeah.
Because the game hasn't started, it's only an issue when cards get revealed after the start of the game.
Right.
I think it's just going to be a reshuffle. Good to see the players here calling over the judge, though, because you just want to make sure that we're all on good footing.
Yeah.
All right, it looks like we're just shuffling up again, and we can go back to the play field. All right, yeah. Just Lance shuffling up again. Accidents do happen, and people shouldn't be penalized for, honest accidents that, Like,
Yeah.
it was pretty clear from the video. He just knocked the top of his deck, and clearly no malicious intent. All right, so this time Delver is on the play. He's looking to come out, just strong out the gate,
Turn
Delver.
1 Delver. Flip.
Let's see. The
It
important
looks like
thing
he has a
here
snap in his
is...
hand. I just saw it. Oh, but he's going to go ahead and take a mulligan and go to 6.
All right, do we think he's kept those 2 copies of Daze in his main board in?
I do know he likes to keep them on the play, and especially against a deck like Stompy that doesn't really utilize a lot of mana. I think that it would be correct on the play to keep in Daze. To be fair, Fruit Salad, that logo, that picture that was for the logo was taken a while ago.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to change the logo if I grow out my hair, but
Yeah, Mike actually had very long hair for a while. He had a top knot.
yeah. And then I cut off like a foot worth of hair, and now I'm bald. All right, shuffling up again.
I could cut it though. I've been thinking about it.
All right. So, Aaron, going to 6. We'll see if he likes these 6
And it
better
looks
than
like
the first 7.
Lance is keeping on 7, I think.
Yep.
Yep,
He's taking
Aaron's
that
gonna
scry,
keep,
so
he's gonna scry, top.
leaving it on top.
So this would be an ideal time to play turn 1 Delver and then flip it off
Yep.
his top scry. Ponder.
Interesting.
So he must want that card on top if he's going to go ahead and take a ponder. Maybe it is a Daze.
All right, so he either doesn't have the Delver or whatever he saw on top of his deck was more worthwhile than playing a Delver.
No shuffle off the ponder. So he's
All right.
perhaps drawing the card he just tried at the top.
All right. Forest into Nettle
Please
Sentinel.
be a Daze. No, no Daze.
Nope. He may have sided those out just to make room for other stuff.
And so here, Aaron is taking the role of the control deck a little more. He's leaving up counter magic, maybe hoping to resolve a spell stutter sprite versus Lance here. Although, as we saw, gut shot would be incredible against that play.
Yep. All right. So we're getting down 2. All
Aaron is
right.
now at 18.
2 lands. Let's see what we got.
Looks like a Kyrian Ranger untapping
Yep.
the
The Nettle Sentinel.
Yep, and there's the Spell Stutter Sprite. Now that's the promo version of Spell Stutter Sprite, but it's possible that Lance will have an aerial volley here in response, which will make it so Aaron has 0 triggers, zero elves in play, and therefore the trigger will not resolve.
0 fairies.
Yeah, fairies. Sorry, I'm just whew,
Getting ahead of yourself
get
there.
all mush-mouthed.
All right.
And that's what's happening.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
3 damage to that to resolve his Kyrian Ranger.
That seems really good on his side.
Back to Aaron, plays an island. Looks like a very miscreant, all right.
Yep. Maybe a second one to follow up, or are we just putting this little guy on chumping duty?
I don't think he's in block mode yet.
No. Still at 18.
He still has, Spell Stutter Sprite or Counterspell available to him. Forced on Lance's side.
Yep. That does make Groundswell active, and if you haven't noticed, he's been holding back lands till his second main usually. I might take this as indication that he has it in hand. Oh no. Interesting.
Yeah. No Groundswell. Just passes the turn, no follow-up play.
Have we actually seen any pump spells out of this Stompy player?
I do not believe so.
So we haven't seen any of the 4 Rancors, any of the 4 Groundswells, any of the 4 Vines of the Vastwood, any of the 2 Mutagenic Gross, any of the 2 Hunger the Hellbacks.
Yeah, I'm sure he's had them. He just hasn't needed them, right?
There are 16 pump spells that we have seen exactly 0 of.
To be fair, we've only
Alright.
watched 2 games.
Yeah. Still, I feel that Stompy runs enough pump spells where at least one of them would have come up at some point.
Back to Lance's turn. Lance draws. He'll need to play a spell if he wants to get in with that 2/2. Looks like a forest, maybe? I think it looks like he was about to lay down a land here. No, he's bouncing a land. Maybe he has maybe he has all pump spells in hand.
Yeah.
Swinging him for 3, or maybe he just doesn't want to pump into this counter mana.
Well, maybe he's seeing if that feels to me like just trying to like.
You just go. Would you just go
Yeah.
for it? You just go for it.
I feel like I just snap it off. Actually, he's just getting in every turn. That's the thing. Like.
Aaron could have a Ninja of the Deep Hours here, and it looks like he does.
Yep.
He's going
All
to
right.
ninjutsu back that.
So we're gonna get this card advantage engine online. Opponent reading Ninja.
Ninja is a sweet card because you could not interact with the ninjutsu ability.
Nope.
And if they target it with removal in the blocker step, you can just ninjutsu it back to your hand and it blanks their spell.
Yep. All right, so he's getting hit for 2. Aaron's drawing a card, and he now has one of his card advantage engines online, which is really, really good in this matchup, just being able to draw into those answers sooner. Because without pump spells, I feel like Stompy has a very hard time against, for example, Spire Golem.
Yeah, which we have not seen any of those out of Aaron either.
Yeah.
Now, it looks like Lance maybe doesn't have a lot of... he either doesn't have creatures or he has all pump spells and he's not willing to use them. This would be a good turn, though, because Aaron has only 1 mana available.
That is Dispel mana, though, so it comes down to, whether this guy is calling... How much Lance has a good idea of what's going to be in his opponent's deck.
It also lets Aaron leave up Vapor Snag. There's a Rancor. This would be a Vapor Snag in response. Yes,
Yep.
it has to be, which will make Lance have to use a Vines of the Vastwood if he has it.
He does not.
Yeah, he doesn't. So that goes back to the hand. Aaron
And-
manages to net a...
And more importantly, Rancor is in the graveyard.
Yes,
It does
exactly.
not come
That's
back.
That's what I was going to say. Aaron manages to net a Rancor.
All right, fighting +1/+3,
+1/+2.
+1/+2. That's correct.
Yeah, so we can just go ahead and get rid of that ninja.
And
Worth it from Aaron's perspective, though, I think, to go ahead and get rid of the
crash in for
the
2.
Rancor.
Yeah.
Well, good
yeah.
sequencing on Lance's part. Losing the Rancor kind of bites, but getting rid of the ninja is a pretty good consolation prize there.
All right. So we got one tiny little fairy online.